really, at the end of the day, it's just the matter of a macro market. It's just what happens.
That's why it's really important to have a plan. Have a plan and understand what your goals are.
In fact, my camel out there is suffering right now with a broken back.
So I actually found Pepe when it was only a couple of hours old, and I'm like, oh, this is a funny meme.
Oh my gosh.
Yo! Who is this degen?
The old man is swing trading over years at a time. And it's like, that's where the real money is made.
The answer is a permanent loss. With single-sided staking, you don't have to worry about impermanent loss.
If you're aware, if you're disciplined, you can hone that into further financial growth.
Financial freedom, so where you can actually live life and not have to be constantly living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, more or less, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crypto degenerates, ducks and squirrels, it's motherfucking Whiskey Wednesday. We're going to hang out. We're going to have a good time. And let me introduce to you guys my panel that's joining me today. Or rather, not my panel, but the guys that are going to be hopping along in my bar. I got myself a nice acid cigar. I got myself some nice Coors Banquets. I'm not driving right now, so no worries about that. But ladies and gentlemen, joining us tonight, we got Agent J, we got Zenith, and we got Mr. Nate McGettit. Go ahead, give yourselves a round of applause for those of you at home that are watching us live, because you guys are getting the best deal. For those of you guys catching us on the replay, we very much enjoy you as well. But the guys catching us live, let's face it, they're the rock stars. Go ahead and introduce yourself for the folks who don't know you at home. Mr. Agent J, what is new and exciting with you, my friend, and what are you sipping on, if anything?
Sipping on some Powerade and some agua. As you guys know, I do not imbibe, but when we do finally get together for that DRT, I was about to say reunion, but I guess DRT meetup would be the more appropriate name for it. I will be taking at least a single shot for the team. But as far as what's new with me, same shit, different day, man. Working on the business, working on the charts, trying to accumulate a lot more capital. You know, it's funny because people have this... they have this misconception that, and I'm guilty of this too, and the misconception is just because you are in the very middle of a bull run, heading into the most parabolic portion of the bull run, that you can kind of just sit back and relax. And for a small amount of time, I was in that mode. I was like, look, man, I made all of my investments at very incredible prices at the bottom of the bear market. I can just sit back and relax now because the bull run has pretty much established itself. Prices up and to the right. But then I realized, you know what? That doesn't mean that there aren't going to be new projects releasing, right? So I can't take my foot off of the gas pedal. I could probably let off a little bit, but I can't completely take it off of the gas pedal because there is going to be a ton of new opportunities heading into Q3 and Q4 of this year. And then we still have an entire 2025 to go. And a lot more projects to come and a lot more money to be made. So I was like, you know what? You were relaxed a little bit there for a minute, Jay, but you got to get back right on the horse, man, and kick it full throttle. So that's the mode I am in these days. Still kicking it full throttle. And I was actually just finished the delivery. I made a few sales before before hopping on. So it's been a fantastic week of sales. Got a ton more dry powder to deploy. So I'm excited, man, especially since we're getting a little bit of a dip. But that's what's new and exciting with me.
I like it.
Friend, Mr. Nate McGettit. Good to have you back on the stream, my friend.
Oh yeah, it's been a little bit. Yeah, I've been sick, but getting a heck of a lot better now. But yeah, no, I was kind of for the past about 2 weeks. I would agree with you, Jay. I've been just kind of like, with when it comes to like any kind of crypto or anything like that. But I've done a little bit of reflection. I'm like, okay, how can I bring more value, right? And because as of right now, it's like, I can come up with theories. I can like start trying to perhaps trying to make things or whatever, just sort of explore around on the blockchains, the different networks. And it's like, okay, being kind of a wanderer is nice and everything, but it's time I start sort of sharing the things that I've learned and a lot of the stuff that I think could be kind of the future, for crypto and especially kind of like the sector, our community here for you guys, right? So a lot of things that I've learned. And so I think I'm going to start in on trying to deep dive into a lot of the things that I've come to learn that I think would interest you guys quite a bit. So, out here just trying to show as much value as I possibly fucking can. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Good to hear it, Mr. Nate. Mr. Zenith, what is new and exciting with you, broski?
Hey, last but not least, yeah, it's me. What's up, everybody? By the way, I am sipping on some Woodford Reserve this evening. This is by far my favorite. So
keeping it
working
classy.
on that a little bit. It's the go-to. Other than that,
I like it, bro.
I am experiencing what I'm going to call post-crypto calendar depression, which is that we have fired what I thought were all three of the major bullets for this calendar year, which was Bitcoin ETF, Bitcoin halving, and now Ethereum ETF. And the only possible thing is election shenanigans or maybe an interest rate decrease to get things going. But outside of that, I'm just looking at a blank calendar now, thinking to myself, like, what major news events am I going to be tracking for the rest of the year? And I've got a bunch of like single blockchain specific things. Like we have the Sonic launch coming up. We have Illuvium going to full open beta test where 90% of the airdrops will be coming out. So if you're not one of the people that got an invite code like me, I was sitting out on that one. So we're just gonna have to wait till open testnet. And then additionally, Illuvium also, I think the staking rewards they're either massively dropping off or they're just straight up ending here shortly. So I forget who was asking that in our Telegram chat earlier, but that's kind of what I've been looking at. And then outside of that, I mean, this might be a bit of an oddball play, but I want to pick up maybe 1, 2, or 3 of those Trump NFTs, the season 2 ones. I would love to get my hands on one of those original series 1, but there are like literally none of them available on the market. I think that unfortunately that man will be more and more in the news cycle as the days come on here, and I'm hoping that we can capture some of that pump in regards to NFT land. And I mean,
hell yeah, bro.
We're below all-time highs on Ethereum right now, so I think the NFT market, this is one of the areas I'm a little experimental in right now. I'm still very much in the learning phase, but when it comes to the NFT market, I think that it is still very much in hibernation, and that it's not really going to pop off until we pass all-time highs for Ethereum, which is very possible in the near future based on everything going on now, because the ETFs are out. Well, they're approved, but they're not out and tradable yet. So until we start getting that data and start seeing the orders coming, I think there's a lot of time to go. So that's what I'm up to. Other than that, I don't know why I got a hair up my ass and I wanted to play modded Stardew Valley, so I'm also doing that.
Oh, dude. The waifu is a big Stardew Valley fan. That's why I have her playing Pixels, because I'm like, look, if you like Stardew Valley, you're gonna like Pixels. She was playing Stardew just last night, and I was like, "Are you on Pixels right now?" And she's like, "Nah, this is Stardew." I'm like, "Man, the game looks so similar, so you could definitely tell where Pixels got some of their inspiration from." But I feel you on the NFT marketplace, bro. It's definitely an area in crypto that I would like to get a bit more in tune with, but I think that's a bit further down the line for me. I'm really focusing on trying to get a handle on being able to read on-chain data much better. And NFT is one of those things, man. It's like they're like the real estate of crypto. They're the last to pump, the last to dump, and they're so illiquid that it's like But what do I know, man? I know jack shit about NFTs. So there might be people out there who knows how to offload the NFTs really quickly. So
with this like 404 market, it's a lot. There's a lot more opportunity for folks to go and unload NFTs. I know we got the Gophers project. It's on Ethereum, Solana, and Pulse Chain. I know on I know on Ethereum there's a whole bunch of 404s that are available. On Pulse Chain there's some pretty funny ones. The Pulse OnlyFans guys, those dudes are hilarious. If you guys aren't in their Telegram, go give it a check out. They're fucking funny as shit, man. But Zenith, you had said something about the Trump NFTs earlier, and I wanted to say, I think that we were talking about this earlier on stream somewhere or something when we were talking about like hacks and things.
About your
loss. Dude. Yep, I lost my Trump NFT. Those bastards. Just kidding. It was totally 100% my fault because I was the one that clicked the button and didn't read the thing that was like, "Hey, would you like to sell your NFTs?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" Fucking boom, and thinking I was over there to get some like free airdrops or whatever because I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, True. Mr. Nate, I want to comment on something. I know that you work outside, my friend, and you are looking a little bit redder than last we saw you, my friend. Have you been getting sunburned, bro? Because I'm right there with you if you have been.
I'm a lot less red than I was last week. But
No kidding.
yes.
Holy shit, bro. Good
Yes.
stuff.
I go through a phase where I get super red for a little while, and then I start turning
Yeah.
a little bit browner, and then I no longer get red.
Yep. That's basically I'm in that phase myself. I was up on the tower yesterday for oh man, like all day long. We started climbing at like 9, and then we didn't get all of the antenna stuff down until about 4:30 in the afternoon. So it was just all day, like my one side, like the side that the sun was on, was just like cooking, and I was like, oh man, I should have wore a long sleeve t-shirt. But shout out to all the folks that work outside and get that stuff. Agent J, I know you're probably out there wearing all that zinc and all that sunscreen and all that good stuff, taking care of your skin like a reasonable, responsible adult.
It's getting so fucking hot out here, man. It's like
Yeah.
I do a lot of work in the garage, and I've got a canvas right outside in the driveway, but it's the Arizona heat is so terrible. It radiates through all that coverage, man. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. If I wasn't already pretty dark skinned, I'd probably be red like Nate.
Yep. Yeah, we're almost all in the same time zone, Nate. Because I'm over in Denver right now, and Jay, you're in Arizona, and Zenith, you're in New Mexico. We're all pretty much almost in the same time zone. Shout out to the folks on the East Coast that are staying up late at night to watch this shit. Zenith, what do you got, bro? Are you sunburned too? I can't quite tell.
A little bit. I'll say, like, I am fortunate in that I am one of those people that tans up really quick. Although this is like the possibly some of the palest I've ever been in my lifetime. When I was living in Florida, I was dark, and that was when I got my driver's license photo. And after that, I went to Washington State, and then since then, I've also been inside. So I have been real pasty. But I'm getting outside playing some tennis. I'm in New Mexico, so not quite as much of the desert heat as Jay's getting there. But you know, I'm at like 8,000 feet, and we still get some sunlight, so it feels good.
Excellent. Damn. Well, I love to hear it. Well, speaking of sunlight and speaking of folks going out and getting after it, ladies and gentlemen, it's about damn time. You already know for chat. I got to find where my camera's at here so I can hold this thing in the correct spot. Chat shout outs. Mrs. Producer, if you would be so kind as to pull up our first starred chat. I see we got Mr. Funk Master Hex in the house, and I'm presuming that he's raising a drink because that's what all of his chats pretty much always are. So shout out to you, Mr. Funk Master Hex, catching us live. Well, that's cool. It shows it on my phone, but not on my computer. I wonder what the difference is there. That's pretty nifty. Shout out to you, Funk Master Hex. Right up next, we got Paul Sachs coming in with the Rain and Vodka Boys. Time to get this mowing done. Let's fucking go. Good to hear it, sir. Good to hear it.
Man.
I love getting chores done while drinking, man. There's nothing that quite beats splitting wood and getting plastered. That's one of my favorite things.
That's such a dad answer, bro.
Yep. Dude, it's good.
Is Rain one of those protein energy drinks?
Oh, a Rain?
Yeah.
Rain? Rain is
RAIGN.
So
Yeah,
Rain
that's an energy
started
drink.
off as an energy drink company. I think they're actually owned by the same people that did Monster. But yeah, they're all branching into other types of drinks. So I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised if Rain also released a protein drink as well. Why'd you ask?
Oh, because our boy over here said he's mixing it with vodka, so it's like a combination of a Red Bull vodka and a protein shake at the same time.
It was like those Four Locos, but you like crack some eggs in it. That's the way to do it.
A Four Loco with raw egg. At
Yeah,
5
bro.
a.m. in the morning.
Yo, Brown
That's the way
says
to
kick
start
me
the
the fuck
day.
off the show because I'm sober and not drinking. Sorry, Brown.
Oh shit!
You're
Oh,
gonna need
speaking
it,
of Brown. Next up, we got Tam. Hey, fam, what's going on? Good to see our #1 cheerleader. Always a pleasure to have you live with us. After that, we've got Mr. Hex Glenn. Happy Whiskey Wednesday, DGen Roundtable. I'm pretty sure that's what he's talking about. He could be saying worldwide doctor. Happy Worldwide Doctor. It could be Worldwide Doctor Day today. I'm not entirely sure, but Mr. Hex Glenn, happy Whiskey Wednesday to you too, sir. We are happy to have you. And then finally, we've got Farmer J, i.e. Mr. Brown 310. Oh, he's changed his name. And he's saying holla, because he wants to holla at your boy, because that's what Farmer 10's all about. Nothing to do with the Spanish. Hola, or something like that. But that takes care of our chat shout-outs, ladies and germs. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crypto degenerates, ducks and squirrels. Man, my computer is slow as hell. we've got a couple articles today, and I think we should save the video for the middle part of the show. What do you guys think?
Hey, you're the
We gotta
host,
do
man.
that.
You cue it up if you want to.
This super, you know what? I've already gone ahead and teased at it. Mr. Zenith, are you able to pull up the commercial that we have as item number?
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't even see what item number it is. Damn, my computer is slow.
So
Holy
a
smokes.
bit of a
Guys, don't buy laptops from Walmart if you want any sort of responsiveness. Who was the one that put this up? Because this thing is fucking hilarious.
that's me, brother. So a bit of background for the folks. This is the most recent commercial by our favorite SEC chairman, Mr. Gary Gensler. This is for Algorand. This is Algorand's first commercial. And a little bit tongue-in-cheek because they take a few pot shots at a few of our favorite assets here. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm sure you guys would appreciate this.
Hey, morning. Hey. Hello.
Hey,
Hey.
You guys take Bitcoin, right?
Sure do.
I'm gonna be paying with Ethereum if that's okay.
Okay, yep, no problems.
it's a good thing I'm paying with Solana.
You can go ahead and tap.
And there we go.
Oh, it failed. Try it again. Hold on, they're smart. It looks like it's gonna be another 27 minutes before this transaction clears.
What? Sorry, $112. I have like 3 things.
Ethereum, they got that peak hour gas thing.
Those gas fees.
Now you got it.
Maybe one more time. What are you gonna do? Just wait right here, without the bag, without the bag.
I think it's gonna work this time.
No. Should have shot with Algorand.
How do I get in that line?
I
you
love the
go.
Bitcoin. You're gonna have to wait for 27 minutes for this transaction to go through.
That's so
What was-
true.
The ETH fee joke was the gas fee, right? It's like $137. I've only got 3 things.
Facts.
Feels like, yeah, Ethereum peak hours.
Mm-hmm. Dude, Ethereum fees pretty lately have been more or less reasonable. I've been bridging onto Pulse Chain up until today. It cost me like $2, $3 over like last several weeks. Today was like $12 to bridge in, but man, like up until recently, it's been very, very reasonable. But I guess with this ETF, things are more expensive now, and there's more transactions and things and whatnot. I don't know. Oh, shout out to another gentleman joining us, Chris Side Effect, or I'm guessing that's what it says.
Side effects.
Oh, look at that! Fuck yeah! Shout out to Chris Side Effects. I don't know if we have seen you before, but welcome to the DGen Roundtable, my friend.
You here, brother?
Good to have you in. I like that. I don't know much about Algorand, guys. I know that we've spoken about Gary Gensler talking about it while he was in while he was still a professor.
Mhm.
And I also know that Lex Friedman did an interview. I don't know if it was with the founder of Algorand or someone else, but if I remember correctly, it's something about trading and auto computing and speed or something like that. I don't know. What do you guys know about Algorand? What's the sauce on Algorand?
It's a payment
I'll be
solution.
honest. Go for it. The only thing I know is that Gary was involved a long time ago, and it has not been highly relevant for a long time. Tell you what, you guys go on this. I'll go on CoinGecko and see if where it lines up in the market cap.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Algorand. I don't even know what it does.
The only thing I know about is that it's like a payment solution, and that's so 2 cycles ago.
So 2 seconds ago.
Innovate with the greenest decentralized blockchain with a borderless digital economy built on an open source carbon negative network.
What the hell?
Huh.
Yeah, that's a lot of fluff words right there, bro.
Yeah.
A little bit- carbon negative. That's to grab all of the WEF folks, the hippies and shit. But full disclosure, I don't know nothing about Algorand besides the fact that Gary Gensler is a fan. And until this commercial came out, it's like I pay attention to a ton of crypto news. I'm pretty dialed into every single large, medium, and even small to medium-sized cryptocurrency podcast out there and YouTube channel. And ain't none of them talking about fucking Algorand, bro. None of them. I hear about XRP more than I hear about Algorand, bro. Like, so I'm thinking like, damn, this. I don't know what the sentiment is or what the trajectory is for Algorand, but whoever's running their marketing department, I told you guys this. I think that was a pretty damn good commercial, bro. It was really tongue in cheek. The whole 27 minutes before you finalize a transaction with Bitcoin, the $130 something for the Ethereum fees. It's like, yeah, that's your tax right there, buddy. And then the Solana guy, he's like, sorry, that failed. Sorry,
Yep.
failed again.
Okay, so I've got
Oh,
the Wikipedia pulled up. If you guys want the down and dirty, Algorand claims to solve the blockchain trilemma. They claim that any blockchain system can have at most 2 of 3 desirable properties: decentralization, scalability, and security. A system with all 3 could run on nodes that each have only moderate. Okay, this is boring. Uses Byzantine agreement and proof of stake. Yeah. Okay, so this is some boring shit. The Algorand Foundation is over in Singapore, and the company Algorand is a private corporation based in Boston.
yeah.
So
That is a tall order, bro. That is a tall order. So they're what was the first 3 that they were trying to accomplish there, Will? It was
decentralization, scalability, and security. A system with all 3 could run on nodes that have each only have moderate consumer grade resources.
That's a tall order. There's a reason why there's Ethereum. There's a reason why there's Solana. There's a reason why there's Polygon. Because what did we discuss just this Sunday? It's that when you want to focus on decentralization and security, what you inevitably sacrifice is the scalability, meaning the speed and the cheapness of fees, right? So if you're Algorand and you're trying to do all 3, I mean, there's probably a reason why they're not really on the news, bro. Because like everybody else is outsourcing either, look, you want to be a security and settlement layer? Well, there's your Ethereum, right? You want faster transactions and lower fees? There's Pulse-Chain. There's Base, right? It's like there's a reason why there's layer 2s and there's a reason why there's now all these layer 3s popping up, is because you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like it just doesn't work like that, bro. There's a reason why Bitcoin moves at a turtle space. It can only handle like, what is it, like 4 transactions per? Wait, is it per second? I fucking forgot. I think it's 4 transactions per second or something like that. There's a reason for that, right? Because they don't want to sacrifice the decentralized nature and the security aspect of it. So
I'm going to
tall order.
I'm going to check this out, guys. I'm going to make an attempt to share my screen here and pull up the Algorand Wikipedia. Here's just something that I noticed really quick. Mrs. Producer, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and pulling this up if you're with us. But check this out. So this one sentence right here, it says consensus on Algorand requires 3 steps to propose, confirm, and write the block to the blockchain. The steps are proposed soft vote and certified vote. Now, I don't know if you guys know what 3 steps are, and I don't know if you can quite see this second sentence here, but I see 2 steps of a 3-step process. And then this paragraph right here talks about the first phase, which is, they propose a block, and then the second phase is they vote on a block, and there's fucking nothing for the third phase. It goes down to fucking references. So that's Algorand. So the Wikipedia might need some updating. This is Producer. That's all I have for the sharing screen. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing now. But yeah, that's freaking ridiculous. Like, hey guys, we got 3 steps needed. Here's 2 of them. Fuck if I know. How long is
the last one is behind a paywall, Will?
Bro, Algorand's been out since April of 2019, so I don't know if I'm just reading this wrong. If there's an Algorand expert that could correct my little peanut brain, this is just the stuff that I'm noticing on your guys' Wikipedia. So I don't know. At the very least, it's bad branding. But that's all I got to say about Algorand. That's some pretty silly. But
I guess
what's
it's
up,
my
Zenith?
turn to shit on Algorand then.
Nice, do it.
This is Producer, if you don't mind. Here we go. So,
here we go.
Yikes!
Algorand was so close, yet so far, because it beat out Aave by about $9 million in market cap for the 68th spot by market cap instead of that nice 69. But yeah, this is a bit of an interesting chart. We got 2019 launch, and then ever since then, I mean, it's launch prices, so how accurate it can actually be. But it looks like it peaked here in September of 2021. So this is actually before the peak of Bitcoin and Ethereum, I believe. And then after that, we had our bear market low, October of 2023. If I remember correctly, the low for everything else was at the end of 2022. So this chart seems to have some different market forces than everything else. But yeah, we got 1.5 billion. Is that billion or trillion? That's billion. Yeah, $1 billion market cap. 81% of the supply is out. But the thing that they are shilling on their website is this. So Algorand, we're looking at 10,000 transactions per second, 2.8 second block time. Talking about being carbon zero, that's probably just from proof of stake or something. But if we go over to chain spec, this is a fun one because it'll actually give you real-time transactions per second, max recorded transactions per second, and max theoretical and their blockchain. So this is Bitcoin. Although I'll be honest, this one doesn't make sense because the fastest they did 12 transactions in a second, even though theoretically they can only do 7. Okay, sure. Going over to Ethereum, top theoretical is 120 with 12-second block time. Max recorded was 62, currently at about 13 for the last 30 days. And then good old Algorand. Yeah, sure, theoretically they can do 10,000 transactions per second, but they've never needed to get anywhere near that because they've only ever done that. So, just some interesting stats for you. It looks like it is fast, but at the same time, it's like the traffic might not really be there.
They're
Just
pretty.
saying.
I wonder how much money they spent on that commercial.
I'll say
how
this.
much is gonna...
As much as we are kind of like crapping on them for being irrelevant for the last cycle and then just randomly coming out with this commercial, they made a damn good commercial. And that's definitely a way to get your name back in the news and get people talking about you. So whether or not we like the technical analysis, the fundamental analysis, marketing department, like, good job, guys.
Good job.
That was funny.
I agree. That was pretty good.
Another one. I want to see another one.
That makes me wonder if they're trying to make their way back into popularity now. But this would be the third cycle for them, right?
Could be. Yeah.
No, because they
2019 or no? Yeah.
This would be.
It'd be their second.
2017 and 2021 and now.
Yeah, they're about at like 1.5 seconds.
Yeah. Man. We got some good comments from the guys about Algorand. Mrs. Producer, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to pull up Mr. Chicago Brew, which you have starred. The carbon negative means no humans allowed. So that's amusing right there. And oh man, there was someone else that was talking about Algo and the other ISO tokens are the globalist choice. I am. So that's Chicago Brew again. Just a couple chats down. Yeah, Algo and the other ISO tokens are the globalist choice. I'd be willing to bet if good old Gary Gensler, our current SEC guy, was talking about it back before he became the SEC guy, that seems to me to be a pretty safe bet. Farmer J agreeing Algorand is trash, but still better than XRP. Man, just everyone in the chat's shitting on Algorand. At least they have a Wikipedia. Crickets with us. Yeah, Paul Sachs has a good point over there as well. Oh man. Ooh, we have a question in the chats. If you guys are okay with doing a hard transition, Mrs.
Absolutely.
Producer, I see a question from Dustin Wilson. What do y'all think about crypto casinos coming up in this next cycle? PulsePot just had a full capitulation candle. I know Jacob is working with a bunch of other projects on BNB. I've gone to PulsePot's website before, and it's basically a gambling website. As far as I'm aware, you basically pay money to spin a circle, and it might land on your name or it might not. And if you pay more money, then your percentage of winning gets a lot higher. That's like the main one. And there's some other things over there. I don't know much about PulsePot. Nate or Zenith, have you guys fucked around with that little meme token over there on the Pulse Chain land?
I haven't actually been messing around with it.
Go for it, please.
I think I understand the question here. The question is basically like, it's kind of like GameFi, right, is going to be a big narrative here, although it hasn't really taken off as much as people would have thought, right? And so I think the question here is like, hey, because gambling or GambleFi has a little bit of a connection with GameFi, is it really going to take off? And then, of course, the big one right now that's being created via the Forge in the GambleFi on Pulse Chain is PulsePot. As far as I saw out of it, like the idea of the project. It doesn't look like as much fun for me though, personally. You know, I think I would rather do a casino gambling play by just going over to Solana and picking a random meme coin. Kind of feel like I might have a better chance there with that.
Yeah, I hope I found the answer to the, or at least a reference to the question. Mrs. Producer, if you don't mind pulling up my screen again. So, if I have this correctly, this is the Pulse Pot chart. So it looks like it launched back in January of 2024. We hit all-time highs in top of March. That was about when Pulse Chain had that recent pump. But then if you look down at this volume stuff, it looks pretty moderate until there's one big red volume candle on the same day that it looks like there's a big drop off here. So please let me know who was the one that asked the question. Dustin. Hey, Dustin, let me know if this is what you're referring to, because I'm not going to straight up call this a rug, but damn, looks like it's been a bad day. Let's put some numbers on this. There you go. Dropped about 61%. Oh! Yeah, that's 61% in a single day down to that wick bottom.
Goddamn.
About
now, if you're looking to buy, I'm not saying to do it or to not, but if you thought you wanted to, like the math is there. Sorry, Zenith. Please continue. I shouldn't have interrupted.
No, you're good, brother. Like that's a lot. That is a lot. Let's see if we can. We're gonna do some sleuthing. So we're looking for 28th of May. That was yesterday, effectively. So there's been a handful of departures from the system. It looks like this one wallet has been selling pretty periodically. This whale also was selling
larger amounts too, by the way.
Yeah, it's true. This is, I'm filtering by anything over 1,000 USD. So it looks like this one whale sold about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 transactions for 3,000, 5,000, 7,000, $10,000 worth. Liquidity is only 147K. So, I mean, that'll move the needle for sure. Oop, and they were selling earlier as well. And even earlier as well. Yep, there is just a singular whale that is, oh my gosh. Yep, okay, we found it. There it is. There it is. This is all the same wallet right here.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't believe in it, but maybe other people do. To his question though about crypto casinos though, like looking past this one in particular, what do you guys think about and I know Nate, you were answering this question from a general GameFi perspective. What do you guys think about the actual like literal gambling aspect of crypto casinos and things? Because like crypto is essentially already kind of a gamble, but what if you put like a layer 2 like literal gambling on top of that? Like what do you guys think? Do you think that that's going to catch on? Do you think there's any juice left in that squeeze of the fruit or anything like that?
I think it'd be redundant because crypto is a casino. That's one of the primary use cases for crypto. It's a casino.
Yeah.
The only difference between a traditional casino and this casino is that the cards are not stacked against you.
Yeah.
It's fair game. That's not to say that there are not whales in the ecosystem, that there are not players in the system that will manipulate the price. Hey, that's what happened when they started trading futures, because they knew that they could manipulate the price easier that way. So there you go. But at the very least, when you compare to every other, well, most of the major investment vehicles, like in the traditional financial markets and in the casino and in crypto, I'll take my chances with crypto, man. It's a much fairer game.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was saying, was like you can go play in a casino, or you could go play in like an online casino, or you could just go over to Solana and do your best guesstimate on meme coin, and it's basically the same thing, right?
Yep.
The only difference
Precisely. You'll probably have a better opportunity on the meme coin, Nate.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm not only that, but the potential for higher gains.
Yeah. Because if you get into a meme coin early, even if it's like a slow rug, if you get in early enough, you can exit pretty quickly. So,
or you can just move it all.
So I guess, Will, can you reiterate your question, which was, do you think that there's that people are going to continue to play the casino games, or that people are going to continue to invest in casino projects?
Does the narrative hold any weight that would be worthy of a standard person who doesn't know anything's attention? Like, is it like crypto's already a lottery play of sorts, right? We can kind of all agree that crypto's a lottery play, but like, will the double lottery or the layer 2 lottery on top of a lottery, how much water weight do we anticipate it would hold? And this isn't to say like anything about, you know, giving financial advice or guessing, but like, do you think that it's a sticky narrative that will catch on? I know I've got pretty much every narrative wrong that I've thought was gonna catch on. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to find out that, you know, I personally don't think that casinos are gonna go much places, but you know, I've been wrong so many times before that I can't rest on my laurels of that holding any water weight. But I don't know. That's essentially what my question is do crypto casinos, like in general, PulseSpot just being one example of them, do they have potential enough to warrant your confidence or like pique your interest or anything like that?
I think that people will always gamble. I think it's one of those things that it is one of those things that is just so tied into the dopamine cycle of just like chance and probability that people will gamble. As far as whether or not I think the market is saturated, I don't think so. There's room for more, and then there's always ways to compete with each other, and marketing is also going to be a lot about it as well. But I mean, yeah, people are going to keep doing this. I'm not going to make a moral statement about that. Should they or should they not? But I mean, like, if you want to have fun, go for it, sure. But understand that it's gambling and it's not real investment. So
I will say,
congrats. If you lose, I don't know what to tell you. You saw the ride, you bought the ticket.
There's a fun system of gambling that I sort of participate in almost every day over on the DGen protocol. I missed them today because I was working, but one of the things at the DGen protocol is they make their gambling fun. So they have a thing over there with, like, it's called the lottery, which basically you buy a lottery ticket for $1. There's 1,500 entries, and at the very end of when all 1,500 tickets are bought, some random winner of all, like, whatever wallet holds those tickets, like, one person's drawn at random and they win $1,000, and the other 500 goes towards bolstering the DGen protocol's goat feeder and the goat pen and things of that nature. So that one's kind of fun because every day on stream they're giving away tickets for basically they're giving away gamble tickets. So if you watch the stream and you comment like a magic word of the day, then you have an opportunity to win this super special magical lottery. Now, Crypto Black Sheep is doing that kind of out of the kindness of his heart to more or less spur on the thing. But there's lots of people over there that spend tons of money on, you know, on super chatting him to get him to give away more tickets during the stream, or to like they go and they buy their own tickets. Like just the other day, one of the guys that was in the comments, one of the dudes that was streaming, I think it was ENJ, he was like, man, I want to buy this super duper special like ticket number. I think it was number 333. He wanted to buy ticket number 333. And so somebody in the comments went out and bought 100 tickets, so it just like swiped that ticket buying opportunity away from him. So it's not like it's more of like the community just having fun spending money together rather than like people gambling for like the sake of, you know, having fun and things. So I think like stuff like that where the casino has a secondary layer of value add to it, of like, you know, just people hanging out having fun, like when like the difference between going to a casino and playing poker and the odds are against you that the house is going to win, versus like going over to your buddy's house and playing poker and you know that like one of your boys is going to get it and you're all just going to be plastered by the end of the night and it's going to be super fun. So I think in that sense there's probably something to it, but just like in a general, like from a general perspective, I wouldn't put a whole lot of I don't know, value behind the weight of that narrative or anything. And I hope that answers your question. I go ahead, Zenith. It looks like you got something, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so there are ways to do, I guess, like gambling systems correctly. If you just want pure casino, yeah, you can do that. I think it might not have as much steam, but when Will's talking about the DGen protocol stuff, this is a casino that is built with purpose and function in mind. It is not there to get you rich. It is there to bolster an already existing ecosystem, and this is purely for fun, and you can tell by the guardrails that are in place. So for every one of those, the lotteries that they do, I think there's only 1,500 tickets max, and every ticket you buy for $1 or one die, which means like nobody's losing their house, nobody's losing the mortgage, and at the same time, it's great marketing. It's great stream engagement. So if you could even use that to kind of like milk some money from YouTube over there, I'm all for it. So this is one of those things where it's like, it is built from the ground up with purpose in mind, not just pure gambling, but to bolster an existing project. If you do something like that, I think it definitely has legs.
Yep. I would heartily agree.
Yeah, and the GambleFi ecosystem is it's certainly a niche ecosystem in crypto, but it is growing. If you guys remember, sometime in 2023, you might remember Rollbit was making the rounds because they are one of the largest GambleFi projects in crypto. If actually, you know what? Give me 1 second here. Let me share my screen real quick. Where is it? Should be. Here we go. So this right here is the chart for Rollbit. So you notice that it found its bottom in the middle of 2022, 2 zeros and a 1, right? And then this was the beginning of January. Look at how parabolic it went, right? It knocked out multiple zeros, and it's now hovering at around, let's see, what's the price right now? Around 7 cents, with an all-time high of around 23 cents. So the GambleFi narrative in crypto is certainly very niche, but it is growing, right? And you can engage in all the traditional things that you might think about when you think gambling, right? You could gamble in an online casino. You could play sports. There's sports betting. There is horse racing. I think horse racing was big on Rollbit. And I think there's even one where you can bet on the outcome of the election. So there's certainly integrating all of the traditional things that you might find in the Web 2 gambling, and now they're bringing it over to crypto. So certainly a growing industry as well. But as far as if the regulators are going to come after them, probably. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, man, Rollbit was one of the big gainers in 2023, man. Thousands of X's.
2023, yeah.
That's funny. I didn't even realize that one did that. Jesus.
Yep.
Sometimes.
Oh, and before I quit my screen share here, I'm gonna switch over to. I gotta share this with the folks real quickly. So this is the chart for Algorand. You know what they always say? You know what they always say in crypto? If an asset is not outpacing Bitcoin, it's not worth investing in. Algorand, for the entirety of our bull market, has been down and to the right against Bitcoin. Oof. So if you're not even outpacing Bitcoin, there is absolutely no way you don't have a prayer of getting up there to new all-time highs. Sorry, right? You're down and to the right against Bitcoin, bro. Sorry,
buddy, buckaroo.
Sorry, buddy. Like,
I want to give
Bitcoin? Sorry.
Man, we are I don't know if you guys have noticed this. I'm going to do another little hard transition here over to Mrs. Producer. We're going to do another round of chat shout-outs because the chat is on motherfucking fire today. Just so you guys know, we've got 7-star chats. There's been a lot of people that have joined us, and also there's some stuff that Pulse Ray Vision's got cooking up that I want to shout out as well. But Mrs. Producer, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and pulling up. Mr. Angry Twinkie has joined us. What's good, D-Gens? Mr. Angry Twinkie, it's fantastic to hear from you, bro. We're glad to hear from you, man. I love watching your streams. They're a little bit big brain for my understanding, but it's always good to see the fam on stream. So shout out to Mr. Angry Twinkie. Up next, we've got Ramon Carrillo asking, what's up, fam? What's up, Mr. Ramon Carrillo? An IRL friend, totally super awesome dude. You guys should reach out and see if he's down to do meetups and things. I know he's on Twitter, and I know he's on Telegram as well. Next up after that, we've got Anonymous Sucro. Want to fry a bird's head with me, and I'm not entirely sure what that is, but you know what? I'll try everything. Well, I won't try everything once, but I'll try frying a bird's head at some point. I'm not sure what kind of meat's on a bird's head, other than like, you know, the combs that like turkeys or whatever would have. But that sounds like a good time. Next up, we got Chicago Brew. Already had my daily dose of fried bird's head today. What a good little transition right there. Next up, we got Mr. C.A. Smith. Does anyone know how to get into the collective? The best way to get into the collective is to collect a lot of things, and then they'll collect you right on up over into the collective. Honestly, bro, I'm not sure what the collective is or what that is. Do any of you find panelists / bar hoppers? Are you guys familiar with the collective at all? I don't know what the collective is.
No.
Good sir, if you could give us a quick description of what this collective is. I'm sure that I cannot give you good advice on how to get into it, but I am curious what it is. Next up, we got Mr. Dustin Wilson saying yes, exactly. I think that that's in reference to his question and all of our super fun and fancy free answers. And then finally, we've got Hexagon Lost in Asia telling us to like that smash button, and he's reminding me that I have not told you guys to like the smash button, so make sure you go ahead and like that smash button before we go on any further into the stream. You don't have to do anything else, just do that very one thing, and I would appreciate that very much. Mrs. Producer, it's not starred up, but I've got a comment here from Pulse Ray Vision. He's shouting out a meetup that he's going to be conducting. He did the super chat at 07:34 p.m. Central Time, I believe, is when. Oh shoot, that's in Mountain Time. So it's at the 34-minute mark after the hour. But Mr. Pulse Ray Vision said that there's going to be a meetup in Salt Lake City on June 7th at Privris at the Depot. Now, I'm not entirely sure what a Privris at the Depot is, but that's what he's going to be doing. Dinner location to be determined. Parking garage shenanigans likely. Yep, that's the one. Excellent. Thank you very much, Mrs. Producer. I appreciate that. And Mr. Pulse Ray Vision, I've gone ahead and shouted out that meetup in my Hex Meetup Telegram channel, which you guys can find by going to bit.ly/hex_meetup. And what that will do is that will take you on over to, let me see, bit.ly/hex meetup. And that will take you on over to the bit.ly one will take you directly to the start here message, because I've made a custom link for that and I couldn't get people to start reading at the start here message. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that link in the chat. But if anybody wants to join the Hex Meetup channel, I've gone ahead and shouted out Pulse Ray Visions here, because one thing I like to do is promote Hexicans meeting each other. So big props to you, Mr. Pulse Ray Vision, for putting on this meetup over in the great area of Salt Lake City. I know we've got some cool G's over in the Utah area. I know that oh shoot, I believe that when we were chatting with Donovan, he was shouting out the folks over in Utah. So much love to all the folks over there. Good stuff. Let's see. And that is all that I have for the chats and things. I'm doing a quick little scrolleroo there, but that's all of our starred comments. And yeah, so big shout out to all you guys over there that are putting shit together and organizing stuff and making the world a better place. We fucking love to see it. Oh, and I see that my laptop just crapped out again, so I have no idea what's going on. I'm gonna look at my phone again. But yeah, that's what we got. I saw that Crypto Chronic has joined. What's poppin', DGen fam? Hell yeah, Crypto Chronic. Good to see you, broski. And we've got another person, Mr. Pulse Ray Vision himself has joined us. Pulse Ray Vision, aloha, my friend. It's good to see you. Can you give yourself a quick little introduction for the folks at home who might have never seen you before? Can you tell the guys what you do and like how long you've been in the crypto area, and like what are some of the things that you run, and just give yourself a quick little introduction and shout out for people who have never heard of you before.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me here. Thanks for Nate and Zenith as always for being cool in our Telegram and the whole community. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, I was just a really unhappy employee once upon a time. Hated every job I ever had. There was one year I literally had 16 W-2s when we were doing taxes.
Jesus.
I didn't last, or they didn't let me stay there. So I'm out. I eventually got my CDL and I became a truck driver because they're always hiring. And that's when I found crypto. I was just on the road listening to podcasts, stuff like that. And Alessio Restani, who was teaching trading at the time, I was trying to learn trading to get out of my job. He said, check out Bitcoin. It was the end of 2014, beginning of 2015. And that's when Bitcoin had just crashed from $1,000 down to 150. and I didn't know what Bitcoin was, but I started listening to podcasts and jumping down that rabbit hole. And I was like, this is going to save humanity. And then it didn't. But I got me into crypto. I was, running a node. I was playing gambling. Like, that's what crypto is best for right now, is gambling. So I'm playing on Ether dice and Satoshi's dice, and I'm just gambling. I'm up 10 Bitcoin. I'm down 10 Bitcoin. And I'm turning very anarchist and libertarian at the same time. So that's how I got started. And then I found Richard Hart because he was making really good calls on Bitcoin tops and bottoms, because he might have been making them. And I was just got sucked into that whole universe. And I watched the 2 years of Hex being developed and launching. And then it got to a point where I had enough Hex and enough money coming out of Hex to retire from truck driving. So when I retired, I just started spreading the love and onboarding my friends and neighbors and people that we knew. And I realized I was just repeating myself over and over. So I started a YouTube channel, which back then was called Hex Ray Vision. Now I switched it to Pulse Ray for the layer 1 aspect. But yeah, I started doing that. And then I wanted everyone to spoon feed me information. So I would bring founders of all the projects onto my channel and just ask them all the questions I wanted to know. And I would ask them to dumb it down until I could wrap my head around the tokenomics or what was going on. And then eventually I wanted to make a project that was on top of Hex and Pulse that helped suck up the supply and get us, help the bear market be less suck. And no matter what I tried, I couldn't build something on top of those two coins that would do what I wanted it to. And eventually we came out with our own token and NFT and sci-fi novel. And that's what the whole GitUp's about, is Rings of Dust, Anti-Gravity Project. That's what we're doing right now. So I think that's a pretty good intro, I hope.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I fucking love it. And I know that, so I'm subscribed to the, what is the name of it? It's the pulsetube.com live stream alert over on Telegram. And bro, I'm always seeing your face getting up there. You stream, what is it, like almost every day or every day? Like what's your streaming schedule like for the folks who might want to catch your stuff?
Yeah, I stream as often as like every day when our clock rolls over. So right now we're in the Wishwell era, and then after that we'll go into mining era and minting era. But every day as that clock rolls over, I play copyright music and get blocked by YouTube because they're all bangers. I know a lot of bangers. Basically a banger DJ in my spare time. And then we just go like whatever I can share at that point. Like if we got a new smart contract done, if we got a new smart contract in audit, if we're able to share another, promotion like the collective that was mentioned earlier, that's what we call our community, is the collective. So I jump on there, I talk about that. I throw the link in our Telegram. If anyone wants to come in, leave the door open. Nate's been over there before, a good time. Agent J hasn't been over, which is great because he asks really, really like in-depth, scary questions, and he'll probably get me to spill some of the code that before we're supposed to spill it. So we're waiting for Agent J to come over and tear us apart. But yeah, and then I've just been jumping on other people's channels. Like I was on Discord Syndicate, F and Hangout. That was awesome. Earlier today, I was on Hex Guild with Eco Builder, and they're really into health and permaculture and natural living. They're incredibly smart. They're also the people that are behind the Hex postcard campaign, if you've seen the Hex postcards. So really cool group over there. And then this Friday, I'm jumping on with Corey Costa, and I'm just going and trying to tell everyone about our project as soon as I can, so that they can multiply all their bonus points and get as much out of the project as possible for supporting us early on.
Hell yeah, bro. Good stuff. Yeah, big shout out to Eco Builder over there like I think he's the one. Did he put together the Hex Guild? Because I know he does the streaming, and I know he runs the postcards.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, between him and Michael from Finland, Hex Bear, and I think Daraj. Yeah, Finbear.
And then I want to say,
yeah.
I used to impersonate him all the time on my streams. He just loved it.
No kidding. That's fucking sweet, bro.
His kids would be in the back seat cracking up as they were driving.
Oh, that's hilarious. I love it. Finbear. I love to hear it. Well, welcome, bro. So for the folks at home who have now heard about the collective, you've shouted out the collective. Where can people go to join this collective? Is it just t.me/collective?
No, it's the website right under my name. agproject.io is our website. It's kind of tiny.
Cool
but
bean. Yeah, I'm trying to get my laptop up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can go there, connect your wallet, register, and you can throw money in the wish well. So right now we just have a wish well, which is a way to bootstrap our development and pay for a lot of the coding and audits that we want to get done before we launch. And when you throw money in the wish well, it spins up a live NFT, and the NFT shows you points. So we give you guys these bonus points, and these points are used in a game or as a ranking system inside of our community called the collective. And those bonus points get you swag and gifts in real life, and they give you access and rewards online as well. And that comes from a sci-fi novel. So I wrote a sci-fi novel called Rings of Dust, and I wrote that to explain the 8 different tokenomics that we folded into our ecosystem. Cool. And that's also what is going to inspire the art for our NFTs. So like this is the first NFT right here. It's going to be the cover of the book, Rings of Dust. Oh, I got my green screen. It's killing me. Yeah, Rings of Dust right there. So this is like a bookmark that we made that we've been sending out with like T-shirts and stickers and swag to our contributors and our buddies. And then on the back, you see the collective. Let me see if I can get this again. You're not going to see the back. The back is, those are the ranks in the collective on the back of it. And so you rank up with those points. And you get points in the Wishwell era, you get points in the mining era, and you get points minting the tokens into NFTs later too. So, yeah.
Hey, Pulsar, I got a question for you. So I noticed this pattern with a lot of folks who make it in crypto, right? They either, once they make it in crypto, they either fuck off or they go one of other 2 routes. They either start building or they start educating. And it seems like you obviously went the latter 2 routes. So can you give the people some insight? I mean, you made your money in Hex. You could have just sat back on an island with margaritas all day, but you chose to build and to educate people about the space. So why did you decide to what would you could arguably say would be the harder route?
Yeah, I don't think I had a choice. Like I spent, since the age of 16, all I wanted to do was be retired. So I spent 26 years just obsessing over like real estate, stocks and bonds, rich dad, poor dad, whatever I get my hands on that said you can get out of working a damn job. That's all I did. And when I hit that age 42, I hadn't set another goal yet. And so I came home and I was like celebrating, but then I was like, oh, what do I do now? I was incredibly depressed for a while because I was used to just literally working 80 to 100 hours a week as a truck driver. And so I came back and I was like, well, why don't I just pay this forward? And I set a new goal of helping 1 million families become financially free because I knew I wouldn't hit that in this lifetime, most likely. And unfortunately, that was when we were entering the bear market. So I helped a ton of people set a lot of stakes at 30 and 40 cent hex and was just trying to do as much. And it's really hard to get people to pay attention for something during the whole 4-year cycle. So I thought I'm going to have to work a little bit deeper and stuff. And then I thought of this project trying to, like I said, I was trying to suck up as much of the supply of Hex and Pulse off the market with these different project ideas. And most of them were really bad. And then I figured if I can launch a coin and it does really, really well, then it's going to drag enough of those families across the finish line to really help people understand this abundance. And I think I see abundance and scarcity mindset as like a virus. And it's really, really difficult to help people achieve emotional or spiritual abundance or freedom in their life or political freedom in their life, depending on where they live. But one thing that I figured out how to do is teach people financial freedom in their life through these cycles and through the gains that we made. And so I think if I can get enough people to experience financial freedom, it'll spread into other parts of their life like a virtuous virus. And they'll start questioning, hey, why do I let the people at work tell me what to do? What do I let the person at church tell me what to do? Why do I listen to these politicians and bankers and other people in my life that tell me that there's not enough and that I got to do what they say? So it's like, I guess I'm just trying to take over the world in a small way.
Very humble goal. I like it. And we see that you're trying to blast off away from the world too. You're wearing your astronaut suit. You're standing in front of the background of the great beyond space, bro. You got the whole vibe going on, dude. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I read the first chapter of our book on my stream on Easter. At the beginning of our book, the main character, Cole Nova, he's trying to collect this sample of dark matter, which is the name of our token. And it's unstable, and it causes a chain reaction. The whole ship blows up. He kills basically his whole crew, and he starts a sickness inside the whole solar system. So that's how this is actually AI art from me feeding paragraphs of that chapter into Dolly, cool, and getting different reactions from it. And that's what we want to do, is we want people to get so deep into the novel that they start generating art for some of the NFTs. And then we can reward them, with all sorts of stuff. And they can actually come up with the JPEGs that are going to be the poster of our different NFTs.
Yeah. I know.
That's fucking sick. Go ahead, Jay.
One thing I was just amazed because Pulse Ray doesn't think he can accomplish helping 1 million people, but he can certainly, he thinks he can accomplish taking over the world. And it's just
yeah, it's called cognitive dissonance. It's when you don't let one part of your brain talk to the other part of your brain. It's the reason I was hardcore into my religion until I was like 35.
Yeah, but no, I think that's actually a pretty cool idea. So your project in particular, and then Crypto Kool-Aid's project, I know they're integrating this web novel NFT kind of thing into their eco as well. I think that's actually probably one of the next steps when it comes to a widespread adoption of NFTs, because that's where people are going to gravitate to, right? Because people get an attachment to the collectible aspect of it, right? And then what better way to kind of immortalize in your collection than something that exists forever on the blockchain, right? You don't have to worry about it getting graded. You don't have to worry about it being lost in the fire. Well, I mean, I guess if you lose your private keys, then you have to worry about it, right? But then, but it has that aspect of being immortalized forever that you're not going to get with something physical. And plus, when you're able to do the storytelling with stuff like the web novels or maybe manga or comics, right? People tend to get attached to those things because they tend to gravitate and get attached to those characters. So I think that's probably a very good way, at least I think so. It's a very good way to get people into the eco, right? If you could create a story and characters that they just get attached to. I like the Berserk. You got the Berserk book, and damn. Which volume is that? I get the first volume?
I'm gonna write that down.
I don't have the first one with me. This is volume 6 because that's where I'm at in the bro. Like, so I've watched the series like probably 10 or 15 times over, and I'm just now reading the manga for the first time. And let me tell you, Berserk is fucking wild, guys. Like, this shit is legit. I fucking love it. I don't like a whole lot of anime, but this stuff is good stuff.
Look forward to Mirror Sensei has passed, unfortunately.
Yep.
But the fans have kind of taken up the reins, and they are creating an animated series for Berserk that's not going to be CGI
on YouTube.
Look forward to that one.
Yes. There's already 2 episodes of it up on YouTube where they've done they've essentially done it's more or less they're taking it frame by frame from the manga, so they're doing a very good job.
That's a labor of love,
I'm quite
man.
pleased.
That's not
I'm quite pleased.
That's
yeah,
not
for
easy
sure.
to do.
So big shout out to you, Pulse Ray Vision, for creating these cool ass stories and these cool narratives for people to follow along with. I love it, man. I love to hear it.
Thanks. And I was gonna say that's one of the only things that you can't fork or copy paste is feelings and community. And that's why like the meetups are such a big deal. In Salt Lake is like once you hang out in person in Vegas or Austin or one of these places, or like Donovan, like you were saying, up in Salt Lake City, he was at the Pulse Chain tour with us and he was hanging out with us in Vegas. But once you get that like real connection and that actual in-person relationship, it doesn't matter if someone steals and copies your tokenomics and technology because you're still part of that family.
100%. I can't agree more, dude. And that's why, like, one of my favorite things traveling across the states is meeting other Hexicans and stuff. Like, I got a couple dudes. So I'm gonna be traveling up to Pennsylvania here in the near future, and there's a couple amigos on the way that I'm gonna be stopping by and saying hello to. And dude, like, just meeting other Hexicans. Like, I can't stress this enough, guys. Like, it's just crypto bros in general, just meeting other people. Like, I've met a lot of people from my Marine Corps career. I've met a lot of people from my crypto career. I've met a lot of people just doing like random tower thing walks in life. And I cannot stress this enough. Going out and meeting people and developing relationships with like random folks off the street is just the coolest thing. Mrs. Producer, my laptop is not working for me. So whenever you want to, go ahead and kick out that StreamYard link for all the folks in the chat. And then if you guys are watching live, feel free to click on that StreamYard link and hop on in. It looks like we've already got Farmer Jay with us, and we've got Fast Abdul. Gentlemen, welcome. Mr. Fast Abdul, I see you're on camera. Who are you for the folks at home who have never seen you before? Can you give us a brief introduction of who you are, what you're doing, and what's new and exciting with you, amigo? And then once you're done, I'm going to pass it on over to Farmer Jay.
Okay, let's do it. So I go by Fast Abdul. I am building things on the Pulse chain. Most recently with my partner Yellow Cake, I have built the 2Fux convex fork to work on top of the Fux exchange. So today is actually our first day. We've launched the protocol. People are now minting and claiming their 2Fux tokens, which is awesome. There'll be more. It's in phases. So tomorrow there'll be more phases that open up. People will be able to mint their Prime 2Fux rather, and claim that, and so on and so forth. And in the next 2-3 days, everything will be open. We already have posted insane APRs on the Fux exchange. I'll show you guys a little later with our 2 solid pool with the solid index tokens. So people are making over 500% APR already, and only half the features of the protocol are available. So we are very stoked about that.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. Mr. Farmer Jay, what's new and exciting with you, bro? And who are you for the folks at home who have never seen you before?
My name is Farmer Jay, and I am just an associate of the DGen Roundtable.
Excellent. He's being humble. He's a well appreciated member of our book club. We love to have you, Farmer Jay. I'm sorry, did I cut you off there a little bit?
I was just gonna say, and today I finalized my dream of being on stream at the same time as Agent J. Finally.
Oh, snap.
Together, brother?
Yeah, you always run away right before I show up.
I mean,
we've
I
got the 2 J's.
Farmer Jay is the only homeless person that I would ever entertain when he panders to me on the streets, bro. So
the dual J's.
Fair enough. Hey, now that we got all the boys on stream, I want to ask a question that I was tossing around at the beginning myself, which is that for you guys, what are the major events on the calendar for you for the rest of 2024 as far as like crypto stuff goes? Could be Pulse Chain, could be like the entirety of crypto. Like, what do you guys have on the horizons right now? Not everybody at once. Tell you what, I'll just call you out. Pulse Ray, what you got, brother?
Mr. Fast Abdul, why don't you go ahead and Mr. Fast Abdul, take it. Oh, never mind. Pulse Ray first. Question asker gets precedence. I'm just the host.
At this point right now, we got the meetup in Salta Lake City, as they say in the Book of Mormon musical, and we're going to be going to watch Purist. The cool kids. It's written with a V because the band's cooler than I am. But we're going to be hanging out there, and then we did book our rooms for the Hex cruise going out of Texas, the Pulse Chain cruise going out of Texas in September. Other than that, I left everything open because I just want to be at my station when it's time to launch something and to stream with people like you guys.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Fast Abdul, what are you looking forward to this year, my friend?
Well, the ETH ETF is a big deal, obviously, and that's something that we'll be looking for. That's going to affect everybody. So it's going to affect the Pulse Chain. It's going to affect what?
I like the way Fast Abdul gets down.
See, ETH ETF, man, it's not funny. It's a big deal. So we're going to be looking at having
the drinks.
Oh yeah, drinks. This is whiskey.
The random drinks getting handed to you. This is like 2 and 2 within 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's how it is over at Fast Abdul's house, man.
All he's missing.
You got a good
is
logistical
crown.
support system.
He's missing his crown and his staff.
Excellent.
well,
Please
you'll
continue,
get me
though.
back another day. But yeah, anyway, the ETF is going to be huge. That's going to make a huge difference to how things work. It's going to roll over into the Pulse chain, and Richard is going to get huge bags that he is going to use to pump his own tokens. So I think we can all look forward to the ETF being successful, and maybe one day a Pulse chain ETF.
I'll double tap you on that one. So you're talking about the ETH ETF and Richard Hart. One of the things that a good chunk of the community is looking forward to is when the OA or SAC address or whatever, some Richard Hart entity actually starts selling Ethereum that was bought at like $3,400 and then uses that to actually pump the ecosystem. Do you think there's going to be any action before that, or is that going to be the main driver for this year?
Well, I think the protocols that are launching on the Pulse chain are going to carry themselves, and that's just going to be to cap it off. Like the actual transition from Ethereum to other alt chains, we'll call it, is going to hit the Pulse chain hard, regardless of what Richard does. So, and I think, he'd be smart not to do it too soon, right? Like don't give those funds to undeserving people. Give it to the people with diamond hands. So when is that? I'd only be speculating, but I would imagine that we're looking at probably sometime in November, December, where we're actually going to see additional pumps on top of what's going to be there already. So we will have experienced the full power of the Pulse chain, I think, between September and November, and anything Richard does after that is just going to be a pumpamental on top of what we'll already do ourselves. So we may well get our 10,000x in the next, year and a half. It's not impossible.
That's fair. So when you're saying November, December, is that specifically because of the Richard Hart case in October?
Yes. Yeah. I think that's, obviously it's a date on the calendar, and that's kind of my thing. Like personally, when I think about crypto, when I plan my own crypto journey, I'm dates on the calendar. Like I'm not looking at like technical analysis and that sort of thing on a regular day. I'm looking at like what dates do I know something's going to happen, or can I say reasonably well that in this range we'll likely see something happening. And I think that, that court case is huge, and it's going to affect us. But we have things leading up to that, like the ETH ETF, that contribute to the court case. And so when we have, when we have news items that make it look more and more likely, like Richard's going to kick some SEC ass when that case comes to happen, well, what's he going to do to celebrate? I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
We shall see.
I really think that the SEC is in for a rude awakening with all of the ongoing cases. Because if there's anything that we've seen recently, right? I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the debt box case, but the SEC, so a Utah judge, speaking of Utah, just ordered them to pay $1.8 million in fines, $1 million to cover lawyer fees for debt box, and then the other $800,000, I'm assuming, to the company itself, right? And because they displayed an egregious overreach and abuse of power there. And it was pretty obvious. Now we're obviously pretty intimate with the details of the Richard Hart case, and anybody who reads the what was served to him will tell you that most of it was absolutely, if not all of it, was absolutely nonsense, right? And so you could argue there that the SEC once again had an egregious overreach and abuse of their power, because the lawyers are gonna, I always said this in the beginning, I was like, look, the lawyers are gonna have a hell of a time breaking this shit down, because even just on the grounds of using customer funds to buy luxury goods, all of that information is on the blockchain, right? Like they can see that it's not like he transferred the sacrifice funds onto a personal wallet, transferred it to Coinbase, into fiat, and then they could track that money that he used to buy the Gucci bags, right? It's like all of that is on chain, right? So it's pretty transparent. So I think when all of that news comes to light, it's going to be one hell of a party, like Fast Abdul says. I think he's going to celebrate in the best way that he knows how, and he might come back on stream finally, man.
I got a question.
That's true. Go for it.
Just in general, what if after the court case and he beats it and it doesn't pump? What do you think the reaction of the community will be?
So we just keep chugging, bro. We just
mean,
keep fucking chugging.
Me personally, I'm willing to hold long term for years. Anything I put in is basically money I'm willing to lose. But what about other people? I don't know what other people are willing to do. I'm willing to hold, but like most of you, I'm hopeful that once this case is settled, that we have a significant pump that we should have been having already. It's like we're stagnant. The core coins are stagnant, right? There's other stuff in the Bulls chain community that's been moving, especially if you like been into meme coins. Some of them have just been doing crazy numbers, but for the most part, the core coins are just not moving. And I think that's what most of us bought into, right? Was the core coins, and most of us bought into core coins, right? PulseX and Pulse, right? I think most of us, that's what our bags are heaviest in.
So your question is, what happens if Richard Hart wins the case and it doesn't pump?
Yep.
In my personal opinion, I think that would be very, very, very rare. Like we're talking like, oh God, I'll put a number on it. Like less than like
really
5% chance, which is because that is such a massive event. It will draw in eyeballs from outside the Pulse chain space, and I think it will be a signal to people who specifically look to trade things as like this is a macro event that actually shows that a major hurdle has been cleared. Therefore, the rest of the launch pad is clear. Like it's theoretically it should be smooth sailing from there. I know obviously it never is, so I'm not going to bet on that part. But the point is that whether or not the OA gets involved at that point, just that news event alone should be enough to pump the Pulse chain ecosystem significantly, especially those core coins that you're talking about that we're all invested in pretty much, which is like so we're talking Pulse, PulseX, Hex, eHex, and incentive token. I mean, I expect all of those to go up. We typically see that they chop pretty similarly in regards to like their daily movement, and every once in a while you get a standout winner. If there ever was an event that could really be that the Pulse chain token itself, that would be a good moment for that one, because at that point, I think everything that Richard Hart has touched has kind of just been greenlit, or at least it's outside of the shadow of the SEC. I'll say, how about that?
You know, I think the most important thing that you said there was news.
Bingo.
So as soon as you beat a legal entity, right, after being called scam for so long, and now the SEC themselves have just made you legit. Okay, now what? Well, now you just plaster a bunch of news articles everywhere. And people are like, oh, what's this Pulse chain thing, right? There's something else that I wanted to kind of like talk about though too when it comes to like the cores, right? Right now, it's an interesting problem we have over here on Pulse chain, right? Because for whatever weird reason, like PulseX, Hex just keeps going down, but yet there's all of these new projects that are being launched and they're kind of like taking off, especially the memes, right? You're right about that, Jay, Farmer Jay. Like they're taking off. Okay. So, I mean, when people start taking profits from these coins, what do you think they're going to put the profits back into? Especially when they start seeing like PulseX, those taking off, because guess what? Tied to Ethereum, right? Ethereum is going to help raise it. Pulse chain is going to raise, and that's going to help PulseX and Hex, and right. And then from there, then that's when not only one billionaire that's out there who likes buying his own coins, but maybe he's got a bunch of friends who like helping him buy up his coins too for the entire ecosystem. And then maybe they're all playing kind of on an Ethereum play. And then maybe Ethereum hits a certain amount of money where they're like, this is either the top or it'll go a little bit higher, but this is a great place to start moving funds over. And so then later, when everyone else is like, that one died, bam, all of a sudden huge green candles. And so now that everybody around the crypto space, kind of like Solana and all that, have already had their pumps, where are they going to take profits into? Oh, what about this one? This one seems to be lagging over here. Let's go over here. They got legitimized by the SEC. Do you see how that very quickly turns into just mooning right there?
Their rotation of capital. People do it all the time, man.
Absolutely.
Like, if you're paying attention, you're doing that all the time. You're looking at what's lagging and what hasn't pumped yet. If it has good fundamentals, if it has a good narrative, you rotate into it, man. We've done it a few times. I know somebody who does it very well. You guys all know him, but we're not gonna spill the sauce because he's still developing it. But we know one guy who's very good at doing that. Abdul, you had something to say, brother?
Go ahead. You're on mute, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I think the thing to remember here is that we're not sitting on our asses, right? Like we have multiple people who are building on the Pulse chain that are continuously adding to what is available. So the Pulse chain is not stagnant, regardless of what Richard does, regardless of the Ethereum ETF. It's continuing to grow and to improve every single day. So like we've just launched the convex layer for the Pulse chain. Like who's going to do the next thing? What's the next big protocol that's not just a meme coin? Like these are all benchmarks. The guys, like rich guys from Ethereum who are sitting on millions of dollars, they can move them over in a second. What are they waiting for? Right? The fees are already cheap. The chain's already fast. It's already secure. We have a zillion validators. But like, to have the protocols that these guys want available so that they can do the things that they do on Ethereum, but with better APR type numbers, that's kind of the stuff that we should be watching for. So all that meme coin activity is cool. Like I support those guys, but like in the end, I think it's going to come down to real dollars in things like stable coins. Right. And once we get like a huge volume of bridged value, I think that's an important indicator. How much value has been bridged to the Pulse chain in things like bridged USDC, bridged DAI, not copied DAI. Those are sort of the indicators of how powerful a chain is. So with things like the Fux Exchange, with 2Fux, other places where people can put their stable coins in giant big pools, like millions and millions of dollars, that's going to flood over into the rest of the chain. So as people continuously build things like that, like we have like now 3 liquidity forks that are good, right? They all work, right? We have, you can make Pulse into $1, Pulse X into $1, and Hex into $1. And then those dollars can go to another place to make even more money, right? There's sort of these safe plays that like billionaires, millionaires can do. And those are the plays that those guys are looking for. They're not like, of course, there's some guys who are making their millions on meme coins, but most of the guys who've already made their millions, they're looking for those kind of plays. So since we now have the full suite of those protocols, and there's probably more coming that will accomplish those goals, I think we're going to see that growth, even if Richard disappeared today.
Yep. Very good points there, Abdul. That
Where is the
one of
waitress
the-
with my drink?
That's Abdul's got those logistics, bro.
But yeah, we were talking about this a few months ago, and one of the key things about Pulse Chain is in the beginning it was very bare bones. I think that's one of the main complaints that a lot of folks had about it, right? You had Pulse X, but you didn't have the capability of creating like V3 liquidity. And that's why all of these other people came in and started building dexes that gave them that option, right? I mean, like a Fast Abdul, he's working on a 2Fux protocol, and you're gonna have like up to 8. It's 8 pairs, right, Fast Abdul, if I remember correctly? Yeah, up to 8, exactly. And so those are the things that he means when you're creating these different utilities within Pulse Chain that players with a lot of money are going to want to come into use, right? That's what the chain needed. You couldn't just have a bare bones chain, even though we know Richard just wanted the plain and simple. Unfortunately, that's not going to drive too much capital into the ecosystem. So now that we have all of those things in place, then you set the stage for when the big man finally comes back into the scene and the regulatory uncertainty has been removed. It's not a perpetual cloud hanging over Pulse Chain. That's when you set us up like a fucking spring, ready to go parabolic sometime probably late Q4 this year to 2025, right? The thing is, it's not like Pulse Chain is a ghost chain, right? People like Fast Abdul, people like Pulse Ray Vision they're building on it. If it was a ghost chain, you'd probably have a good argument, but it's not. That's the thing.
I have a different thought of like that. That's what Richard wanted. I think Richard built what he wanted to build, and he wanted to leave the other things to the community. I don't think he wants anything centralized. Like you said, you have Fast Abdul, you have Pulse Ray Vision, you have all these other people building on Pulse Chain. They can't go after him for these projects. He's not building them. He just created a chain then we can build these things on. Or not me necessarily. I don't know how to build anything except for some electrical stuff. But other than that, yeah, like you see these guys that are creating these things, and I think most of us here we're pretty familiar with cryptos other than Pulse Chain, right? And I don't see any community out here that's like this. You have like all these XRP boys, right? But who's building on XRP? Who's building anything? It's just a bunch of guys just waiting for the chain to pump. Meanwhile, the developers just keep dumping coins. Richard Hart is not dumping anything. Like you can see it on chain, right? There's nothing being dumped by. So like, yeah. So like I have faith in Pulse Chain just because of that. Like you have all these people that are building just these great projects on there, and they're community led. And like we're at the beginning of this. So that's my thought on things is like, how long is it going to take to pay off though? Like I'm willing to put in for the long haul because it might be a while for all these other people and institutions to come in.
Yeah, the best thing that Richard Hart ever created was a community.
Yep.
Like those 2 years of watching Hex being built, he was saying, "What do you guys think the inflation rate should be?" And then they'd have a discussion and figure it out. What do you think the penalty should be? What is this? And then out of everything, Dev Kyle comes out of the community. He created the T-share. So like Richard Hart, like he created the community, and the community created Hex, right? And that's why I look at all the other chains that we could launch on, and the community is why I'm launching on Pulse Chain right now. Like Pulse Chain is still going through some growing pains. It's still not being accepted by other blocks and other services that are coming on, and it's not as plug and play as some of the other EVMs. But the smartest and the most passionate people in crypto are in this community right now. Shout out to Crypto Sloth in the freaking chat. Just as one member of this insane community.
But hey, it looks like we got some new faces. What's going on, gentlemen?
Snap dizzle.
What up, boys?
What's up, Paul?
Aloha, Mr.
How you guys doing?
Richard Hart definitely took on making a community on hard mode. I mean, 4 years, three and a half years before launching a token, but just building a community. How many hundreds of hours? 8 hour, 10 hour streams up, even taking a piss. Like crazy. So
yeah. Bro, I read your comment earlier in the chat about the amount of people in like our Gen Z or the millennial generation, right? That are engaged in sports gambling. We actually spoke a little bit about that this past Sunday about how they might not be able to like say it explicitly, but there's something in like the pit of their stomachs that tell them they're never going to be able to make it out of the rat race, even if they have a university degree. And so that's why they're putting their money in a lot more riskier areas, right? You mentioned the sports betting and the gambling, and a lot of them are going into crypto. I think that's why the left has had this paradigm shift with crypto within the past few weeks, because they realize that, we were talking about some of the stats earlier this week that in the major swing states, 1 out of every 5 of those voters have identified on surveys that the crypto issue is their primary deciding factor as to who they're going to vote for, right? And I think they've identified that the age demographic there are people exactly within, the generations that you spoke of, right? Because they have to go into higher risk assets because they know that they're not going to make they're not going to be able to wipe their ass with returns from the S&P 500. Let's face it, right? Like, not going to get anywhere with that. So,
well, think about the crazy stat. If you spent $1 million, is it every hour or every minute? Since before Jesus was born, you still wouldn't even be, I think it was like $760 billion. Still, like, you're not even to $1 trillion yet. Everybody understands, like, this shit's falling apart. It's crumbling. How fast? Who knows? How much you can keep it together? But they're looking at Social Security. They're looking at 401ks, which giant scams. They're looking at all that and they're going, and no. So the rate of bankruptcies is massively up with that generation. Sports gambling, that's why you see, I think if you talk to Ben Dubart, he's like, why is it every time I go to the Super Bowl these past 3 years, everybody's ready to gamble? It's just everywhere. It's an epidemic with that generation. So
yeah. Paul, this is something that I was bouncing around with Will on Book Club and the Sunday Show, which is that the rise of the sports betting stuff and honestly, like a lot of the betting stuff that you see on like social media with like TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, whatever, a lot of it is not just trends, but it's actually people like putting their money where their mouth is, and it really reflects what, in my opinion, it's a working theory at this point, but it's the idea that the economic pressure of the times, whether it's due to inflation, just housing being super unaffordable, just the entirety of just the perfect storm that is everything in the first world, or especially the United States right now, with just unaffordability, getting priced out of things, and then just feeling like you have no hope. It leads people to those high risk activities. And I think sports betting and the rise of it is really that signal that people might be getting a little desperate and they're willing to actually engage in more high risk activity more often.
Yep.
So they're looking at what our prior generations did. They're looking at right now what's obtainable, and then where are we heading in the future? And everybody realizes it's a rat race. It sucks to say, but it's a rat race, and it's sink or swim, and figure out a way. Everybody has to carve their own path. Nobody wants to admit that what's coming down the road. If you guys have ever heard, I believe it was for Britain in around the year like 1913, whenever World War I started, they're saying for getting all their youth into World War I was, it's a time for a good fight, or it's a good time for a fight. It is so fucked up when you think about it. But
nationalism
real
is a
quick,
hell of a
real
drug
quick,
at
gentlemen.
this time.
that seems to be coming back around.
All right, hold on, guys. We've got another panelist who we have not had the opportunity to introduce, and so let me zoom into my phone here real quick. We've got Coach X with us for the first time ever. Mr. Coach X, welcome to the DGen Roundtable. We're glad to have you, broski. For the folks who have never seen you before, including myself, can you give a brief introduction of who you are, what you're doing, and like what's your like crypto story, bro? Welcome to the DGen Roundtable.
Hey, first off and foremost, guys, that the conversation is freaking gorgeous, I must say. Just picked up and dropped off my kids at jiu-jitsu, so that's why I'm in the car right now, and I wanted to just hop in. But yeah, I'm Coach X. I'm a team member of PTGC. Kind of like my
let's go.
So yeah, so and also I do daily streams Monday through Friday, 6:30 in the morning Pacific time. Early bird gets the worm type of mindset. But kind of my crypto story, starting like kind of like waking myself up from like the Matrix, and I love how it kind of branched off to the conversation that we're doing, because I have talk about rabbit holes. I can go down deep, and started a crypto journey back in 2018. Started learning about like stocks, finances, because I wanted to get out of the rat race, and in hindsight, everybody wants to do that. One thing led to another. 2021, 2022, started learning about, I was a part of a couple crypto projects that didn't do so well during the bear market. But one of the things that you actually learn when you fail, you learn what not to do, or what to do and what not to do. And then also just the networking that I got to be a part of, kind of like there was a project called Follow, and we were trying to raise about like $10 million in the early of 2023. And of course, no venture capitalists wanted to dive into any kind of crypto projects, but got to have some great conversations with the team over at Phantom, also some of the people around Polygon, and kind of like just grew my network. And as you can see from the chart of PTGC, I just know how to collectively be around good people, and kind of like the rest is history. And yeah, that's kind of like my crypto story. And thank you for actually inviting me to the panel, man. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah, bro. It's good to hear from you. So I do know who you are. I didn't recognize the X part of the name, but I've heard of Coach before, and I've seen you stream with the DGen Protocol guys a time or two. So yeah, bro, I'm a big fan of what you're doing over there at PTGC, I believe is the name. But good to see you, bro. Welcome to the DGen Roundtable.
Appreciate it, man.
And hey, Coach,
Excellent.
I think with the shift in sentiment from our favorite regulators here, I think moving forward in the future, especially with the overwhelming support from a ton of the big guys and gals in TradFi, you know, in 2025 and next bear market in 2026, if you're trying to create a new project, you might not have as difficult as a time approaching some investors to jump into your project, because I think they're going to be a little bit more receptive to that kind of stuff, my friend. It seems like they're a lot more receptive to it now.
Well, yeah, 100%. And then especially when all ships rise up together, like Pulse, PulseX, Hex, and collectively PTGC's liquidity pools are just kind of helping out the machine, the mechanics with over 30 different LPs. You never know. Maybe PTGC is going to be that venture capitalist many years down the line. You never know.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Yep,
For the
precisely.
folks at home, I don't
I
know
just
if we
like
said
Coach's
yes, but
mustache as a shadow. That is awesome.
That is a good one. For
Go
the
ahead,
folks at
Zenith.
home, PTGC is the Gray's currency. Am I right?
The Gray's currency.
Yeah, the greatest currency. Yeah.
The aliens.
There we go. So,
Hey,
so if you want-
I was actually going to come up with my alien mask on, but I wasn't at home. So you get the mustache. Sit right now.
Love it, love it. I did want to ask, by the way, you mentioned you dropped the kids off at jiu-jitsu. Do you roll?
I'm going to be taking my first class starting next week. So I'm going to start rolling around. It's going to be a fun
Hell
time.
yeah.
I need to get a little sweat on because I got a little dad bod going right now. So
You and me both, Coach.
Dude, then we
We're
can do
all in that
karate
boat, bud.
combat with Fast Abdul and Coach.
Fast, you got any advice for the people trying to get out there?
Well, I think sometimes you just got to do it, right? Like there's no substitute for just showing up. There's going to be a first day for everything, right? So I think for us guys in our 30s, 40s, and 50s, perhaps even 60s, like it's not too late to show up for stuff like that, and you'll be surprised at your aptitude, even if you don't have like wrestling background or judo background, stuff like that I do. You're still going to be in a situation where you're not a kid, right? You're not 17. You don't care as much what the girl behind you thinks about what you're doing. And that's going to give you a huge edge in learning very quickly what you need to do to proceed. And you can have great success in these kind of things very, very quickly. So yeah, I'd say like, don't delay, just go get in the gym, start rolling. If it's jiu-jitsu, that's what we call it, rolling. It's when you're like fighting the other guys. There is no better mental exercise for a man. There's no better psychology thing than another man trying to kill you. I can tell you 100% when a full-grown man is trying to choke you out, that's the full focus of his being is trying to kill you. You're not thinking about anything else. Nothing clears your head like almost getting killed on a daily basis. I'd recommend it to everybody.
Yep.
Love it, love it. And
100%.
shout out to Fast Abdul. I think you said you're a purple belt, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think it's like 10% of the people that ever start jiu-jitsu make it to blue belt, and then even from there it's like another like 10 or 15% that ever make it to purple belt. So really shows a dedication to the game. So
once you hit purple though, the chances of you hitting black are much better, right? It's a much smaller group, and you end up, I think almost half the purple belts end up being black belts one day, but it's a 10-year journey, right? And the important part is the journey, right? It's not that you get the belt, it's what you do during that time, right? Mm-hmm. And my thing has always been competing. Like I actually like showing up to tournaments and like stepping onto the mat, which is a completely different experience than just practicing, right? Like you step onto the mat with 200 people watching in like Las Vegas or something, and like, man, that throws you through for a loop. So you do that 50, 60, 100, 200 times, and it'll change your complete mindset on everything. It's a life-changing experience.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
And Abdul alluded to it right there. And it speaks to Pulse Ray's experience as well. When he spent his entire life trying to get out the rat race. Once he finally did, he realized, oh shit, I have no goals afterwards. So at that point, correct me if I'm wrong, Pulse Ray, but you realize that the journey was the more important thing, right? It was what kept you going. And without anything after a journey's end, you were kind of lost a little bit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I wish I could go back in time and talk to myself and just say, hey, I know you're like freaking out and you just want to get this goal done, but take a breath and enjoy the journey, enjoy the experience. So I wish I would have enjoyed that more, and I try to enjoy this journey more ever since then. So that's great point, Aiden J.
Yeah, man, because I think people get lost in the sauce when it comes to making these very big, grandiose end goals, right? But they don't realize that if you set the bar at a certain point and you reach it, then you realize, oh shit, there's nothing left afterwards. I don't know who exactly came up with the quote, but it went something along the lines of, when you're shooting for a goal, it's better to shoot for the stars than shoot for the moon, because if you miss the stars, at the very minimum you hit the moon. So so it's like you're not left without a purpose afterwards.
As a little guy, I shoot for the kneecaps.
I like this chat. That we got. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Moon-Pilled Rational Optics. Step 1, show up. Step 2, keep showing up. Third step, never stop showing up. And that will benefit you in most everything in life, not just jujitsu, not just cryptocurrency. Like, that's like persistence is I think, oh shoot, Zenith, what was a book that we were reading where persistence was like the key common element between all successful people? I want to say it was
was it Outliers?
It was either Outliers or it was the one by Carnegie. But man, I can't, like, persistence is one of the most common similarities between like all incredibly successful people is not giving up when the going got tough. So shout out to Moon-Pilled Rational Optics for that good ass chat right over there.
For sure. If you're talking about the books, Dale Carnegie was How to Win Friends and Influence People, although it might have been the last one we were talking about, which is Psychology of Money. One of the big points from that book was like, the way that you build wealth is you survive. And you survive by making good investments. They're not going to get you rich on the first try. It's not going to be that meme coin that goes to 10,000x in a month. It's stacking small wins. It was that one, or
yeah.
What was the other one? What was the other one I just said?
I thought it was like Andrew Carnegie. I could have swore it was Andrew Carnegie. It was the one where he's like, "Hey guys, I got a super duper special secret that I'm going to share with you, but I'm not going to tell you in this book." And the successful people find it out. I remember that was an aspect of the book that we had covered. Real quick, Mrs. Producer, I do not have access to my laptop. Jay or Zenith or Nate, do we have any starred chats that have accumulated during this time we have been streaming?
Yes, we have 7 starred chats. Tell you what, you hold up the sign, I'll read out the chats.
It's time for chat shoutouts. I can't see it because I don't have my laptop, so I'm pretty sure that's. Yep, it's up. All right, guys, time for some chat shoutouts. Let's fucking do it. Zenith, take it away, my friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Up first, we have Hex Glenn giving a shout out to Pulse Ray Vision, our first person to join the panel tonight. Super happy to have you, and hopefully more people join the collective after this. If you guys are still taking admissions. Oh god, I'm gonna get shish kebab for this one. Mahirson Parmar. He says anti-gravity.
That's on our. He's on our team, deep in the woods. We can't tell you what he does, but he's special.
Beautiful. He's saying anti-gravity to the moon. Again, that is part of the collective and Pulse Rays, the dark matter of the anti-gravity saga. Up next, we got longtime viewer and unfortunately not the first commenter tonight. It's Centurion54X. Good to see you, brother. He says, "Can't believe I'm late. What's up, D-Gens?" It might be slacking. Might be, I don't know. It could be other things, but at the same time, I will say he's one of the most consistent folks we got, and we love to see him every time.
Yeah, he's late because he was talking to Casey in the chat about raising chickens, man.
Ah, that's what it is. The old homesteading, huh?
Yeah, they're talking about it in very great detail earlier.
For sure. All right, up next, we got M Rock Jockey or Mr. Ock Jockey. I don't know how it goes, but he says rocket ship. This is a rocket ship, baby. Everything is going to the moon. You just gotta wait long enough, I guess. Next up, we got friend of the channel and someone we shouted out previously, Dr. Crypto Sloth, saying yo yo yo. Good to see you, brother. Glad you made it. Exactly. Show the man some love.
It's like Bro, he's gonna be the new Spider-Man villain. Just you wait. It's gonna be Doc Sloth. He's gonna do crimes and stuff, but he's gonna do them real slow. He's just gonna be.
I can see that. I can see the other prediction that I have for Dr. Sloth is that when the top of the bull market comes, he's going to be getting a lot of orders from Hexskins and Poleskins to get some grills installed.
Oh, yep.
Some
I've been calling that one for a hot minute.
So I don't know if I stole your joke or not, but yeah, that's what it is.
I'm trying to spread it, trying to get it going.
I just need some
the
teeth.
marketing
Like,
wing.
forget grills. Just like actual teeth that have been knocked out of my face, I need to replace them. Sloth should be the way to
Wait,
go.
Abdul, you got veneers, bro?
The
Got the
only
gibbers?
teeth I have left in my mouth are the ones you can see right now. The rest of them are gone.
Wow,
So,
damn.
yeah.
Sounds
Apparently,
like
you know
a wisdom
those
teeth
like
story
mouth
from
guard
hell.
things that some guys wear when they're fighting
Yeah.
and stuff? You should
Yeah.
wear those.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shocker.
Yeah. I never did, but you should.
Fight like a real man. You don't need no mouth guard.
So you use your teeth as a weapon in the middle of the fight, right? You just spit them at people. Like
I'm here. I'm
like
out on the
pocket
mat
sand.
before.
You do it like pocket sand.
It is an intimidating move to like when the ref stands you up and you spit out a tooth on the mat and then keep fighting. Like, yeah,
Yeah, that's some hockey shit right there. Well, yeah, you're Canadian. There you go.
Oh,
I was gonna say that is hockey shit right there. But yeah, established dominance early and often.
It's normal.
You guys are built
Excellent.
different.
Abdul, you've got to keep those in reserve because you have a finite amount of teeth that you could use for intimidation tactics. So,
Well, if Sloth keeps giving me more, I could just like keep refueling, right? It'd be like it'd be like a magazine,
Expendable
like
teeth.
reload, right? Like,
Agent
yeah.
J, you ever seen those the working dogs, the Saint Bernards, or sorry, the German Shepherds that have the titanium teeth? The police dogs.
I've read about them. So there was this novel that I was reading that had that exact because his dog's tooth, a few of them got knocked out, and then next chapter he had them replaced with titanium.
Yeah, no, that's a real thing. They've actually done that with a couple dogs.
Ooh, that's got
Whether or not
shit.
they've done it, is it like legal and promoted? Because in my brain, I don't know. I put that right next to people like super gluing razor blades to chickens when they do the cockfights, but
Well,
it's not
legal.
it's not a war crime the first time.
not a war crime the first time. Damn straight. Well said, sir.
It's
Andy's
just a
Canadian.
warning.
Remember, it's speaking of war crimes, the Canadians, they do things, man.
DJ and Roundtable does not support razor blades near your cocks, by the way.
My God, this is a conversation. I did not anticipate this going this direction. If you guys will excuse me, I'm stepping outside real quick. Keep going though.
Bro,
Will said the
my
chats were off the
grandfather-
rails today. And
Oh, yeah,
he's
go ahead,
not
bro, go ahead.
wrong. All right, we got two more, and I'll toss it over to Jay. All right, we got longtime friend of the channel, Moonpilled Rational Optics. He's saying, "What's up?" I know he is also a Whiskey Wednesday fan because he's a bit of a whiskey connoisseur himself. I think there was a time on stream I was drinking some sort of scotch and just absolutely desecrating it, and he was losing his mind in the chat, being like, "What on earth are you doing to that good stuff?" I think I bawled out and got some Johnny Walker or something, and then just murdered it. And last but not least, we got the hexiest man in the world. He says, "What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
My
Good
man.
to see you, sir.
He's
Welcome
got
to
the most
Whiskey Wednesday."
555 stakes. Probably has the most t-shirts.
I believe it. I don't know.
Man,
There's
you got to live up
probably
to that
one-
name, right?
He is the
And-
hexiest after all.
We got one more
Yep.
sneaking in here. We got the Mr. Max Quattro O, not Quattro Cinco, Quattro Cero.
What up, Mr.
Take that
Max?
one to the bank. All right, Jay, floor is yours, brother. What you got?
Oh, and I was just gonna say that if my grandfather was still alive, I'd ask him if he ever used razor blades on his chickens, because yeah, he was a big cockfighter back in the Philippines, and the man loved cockfighting so much. When he died, he had his heart attack in the cockfighting arena because like he had a few roosters in that
What a
in that
fucking
fight.
G.
Yeah,
God
man.
damn.
My grandfather was a G, bro.
That's the way.
Motorcycle riding, leather jacket wearing, cockfighting motherfucker, man, and a doctor.
Man, I gotta say that's
They
probably.
just added Anna Doctor.
Yeah, yeah, he was a man of many talents, bro.
Would have loved to have met that dude. Good shit.
He was a G.
Hey, tell you what, this is producer. Can you pull up that chat from Bit Finesse? This is a good one to end on. So he's saying, so what are we thinking for Pulse this cycle? Half penny?
Sure, why not?
I've heard that a reasonable range is
seems a bit
between
low.
1 penny and 3 pennies. I was gonna say, yeah, I'm with Jay on this one. That might be a bit low. At
Yeah.
the same time, we are Are we doing some moon math? Absolutely. I'm not going to deny that. But at the same time, like, what is it? We had the all-time low at 4 zeros and a 3 something. So I'll quit the channels. Sorry, Moonfield Rational Optics. Yeah, that was a dark day. We'll get back to that one in a second. Yeah, as far as the moon math goes, if we hit 4 zeros and a 3 to do a 1000x from there would get us to a third of a penny. To do that 10,000x, the mythical 10,000x, that would get us to 3 cents. So I think on average, good L1s that just launch in their first cycle do roughly an average of like 100x. So the upside potential is definitely there. I don't know. Rest of the panel, what do you guys think? Is a half penny shorten pulse?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. The thing that I always look at is like, what does our TVL got to get to? You know, the total. Like, doesn't it have to hit like 30 or like 300 billion or something like that? Isn't that what the moon math was flying around?
This is that time when that saying by Richard about how market cap doesn't matter kind of resonates with me, because at the end of the day, if you got people filing in to buy your asset, market cap's not gonna fucking matter, man. They're gonna buy your they're gonna buy your token whether it's at $1 million market cap or $100 million market cap. Doesn't matter what the price is. When they see those green candles, people are just gonna come in. I think that's why, like, whenever Richard says market cap doesn't matter, like when you got FOMO kicking in for a lot of these retail people, man, that's what's gonna happen. I mean, we saw a little bit of that with what happened with Bitcoin. A lot of those people bought the top.
I feel like we just had this discussion about getting people to FOMO in. And you know what's funny too? Like, the part of that discussion that we did not talk about is how as soon as those green candles do start popping up, everybody who's left, because, you know, Pulse Chain going dead, will suddenly be like, I need to get back in there now. And so all of the downward that you see currently is just going to get reversed.
It might not be a TVL question, in my opinion. I think it's the liquidity question. This is something that I know Axis has talked about a lot on his streams and stuff, is that your total market cap is not exact. It's not the thing that drives the price, but it is a derivative of price, because you get market cap by multiplying your total supply against the current price. However, what actually moves price is the market makers and the liquidity that they operate in.
Yep. Yeah. And I know people are going to argue, well, isn't the market cap of Pulse Chain and others too high already? I'm like, bro, that's not going to matter, man, because like look at the liquidity of Bitcoin. That liquidity pool is so thick and it's still moving. It's still moving. So it's not going to matter when you get people to FOMO in. It's not going to matter. Market cap's not going to matter. People are not going to care.
That's coming from people that are ignorant, man.
Yeah.
That's coming from people that are ignorant, that have never looked at. Go and look at what the stock market. Go and look at actual everything else where they got trillions and trillions. Like, we're so far off the mark in the game we're playing. Yeah, we're talking about these ETFs. Some of these guys coming over with trillions. So yeah.
We're only $50 million from a 10x, I think, on Pulse Chain. Like, you could 10x Pulse with $50 million, and therefore $500 million is 100x on Pulse, right? And you're like, other things that are leverage on Pulse, and that would include many, many tokens, will be more than that. So to say that it's impossible that there's $500 million, like, it's very little money when we look at the traditional fiat markets. Yeah. $500 million is pocket change, literally, for some individuals, right? Yep, so if we can get Jeff Bezos to like FOMO into Pulse Chain with his whole fortune, then that's the 100x right there, just to start.
That's what the Wall Street boys have been waiting on all this time, is that the big.
Oh no, we lost Paul.
I think we lost Paul.
Oh, there we go. Okay, Bitcoin would get enough liquidity that they could inject all those, 10, 11 figures into it.
Paul, we were just talking about this on Sunday.
Oh,
and last Wednesday too, bro. But you're on the money. Keep going.
No, I was gonna say the trickle down effect is where we see that $50 million roll into Pulse Chain. The trickle down effect, you got to just have a fraction of that make its way to us. So yeah. Well, just be happy that Richard Hart's name is in the news and that his name is notorious, because having market share in somebody's real state of their mind is huge.
Yeah, Coach, actually, I'm interested in your thoughts on this, because I know you talk about this type of thing quite often.
Yeah. So basically, like what I've seen in the whole crypto market, and just like with any kind of currency in life, the only three things that matter in that kind of context is supply, speculation, and liquidity. So you can kind of like dictate it. I'm gonna sound like Richard Hart for a second, but when was the best time to buy Bitcoin? When the Satoshi owned all the supply, the speculation was very low, and the liquidity factor was not actually there. What actually happened like 4 years later, speculation started growing more and more. Layer ones start adapting wrap Bitcoin and people building on top of Bitcoin. So the liquidity factor started moving out. Centralized exchanges were coming out as well. But in theory, at the end of the day, like how many layer ones or like a Solana became a factor in 2022 or 2020. So with that factor in mind, I kind of like quote this when it comes to like Hex itself. Like Hex, eHex is 4 years old. Yes, 4. No.
Yep.
5. 4. I was trying to think about the birthday.
2019.
20,
2.5.
Yeah.
So yeah, come
4.5.
December we'll be 5 years old.
Yeah. So with that conclusion, that's where I'm like I'm seeing everything adopting together, and then especially some of the factors coming into play with being like the number 3 researcher when it comes to PDI and understanding there's a lot of factors coming into play that is on the blockchain itself, like different kind of connections with like maker and sub DAOs in their end game, and how much liquidity that could bring to the table, and then just with all the builders like Access, Randy, Nope, SolidX, but the liquidity is branching longer and longer, and that's the only thing that we want to worry about. And then the speculation will come after, and the circulating supply is going to be getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Mm-hmm. So like in terms of like PTGC, we have over like 35 different liquidity pools. So we got the liquidity factor there. The speculation, we have 6,000 speculators. And then the supply factor, we're always decreasing. Whenever there's an action, there's a reaction. And yeah, so that's what I like to say. And then like with the US dollar supply, they keep on printing the money. The speculation, they have all the sheep working for inflated money. And then they have the liquidity factor, basically kind of like just that's where you have to buy your food, groceries, and all that kind of stuff. And they spread it around the world to try to reduce the inflationary factor. Conclusion. So that's my thoughts.
And I think people tend to forget. Well, they don't forget. People know that Pulsechain is a fork of Ethereum, but they seem to forget that Ethereum is so Bitcoin is sound money. Ethereum is supposed to be ultra sound money. Pulsechain and in particular Pulse X, you'd have to call it something different because it's more than ultra sound money, right? Because with Ethereum, stakers are going to be rewarded with more Ethereum, right? And when there's lower network activity, like we've experienced at certain periods during our bull market, then Ethereum becomes inflationary again. But with Pulse X, since there's a cap supply, and there's always going to be a cap supply, but that fee burn is not going to stop, especially considering when the bull market starts really taking off and people get more, and we get more eyes on Pulsechain, then it's going to be more than ultra. Pulse X is going to be like perma-deflationary forever, right? Because there's no more new Pulse X that's ever going to be created, right? So it's more than ultrasound money. So I think people really underestimate that aspect. And yes, it is going to take a considerable amount of time before we really start seeing that effect on the price, but it is going to happen, right? Oh, the assumption, of course, that the Pulsechain just doesn't die, but I don't think any of us think that that's going to happen here.
I don't think so. I think that there's going to be a lot more. What PulseX has solved, which is like inflationary issues, I think is going to start becoming a normal thing around the city of Pulse Chain in general. You know, like what Gifford Ware is trying to do right now is a really good step towards that. And so I think overall that Pulse Chain is a very good long-term bet because there's way too much innovation going on, and the first cycle. There's a lot of fear that the first cycle is not going to turn out to be what a normal first L1 cycle is going to be, right? Which is like 100x's or whatever. And there's a lot of fear of that. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Doesn't really matter because the deflationary value plus all the innovators on this chain, it's like you could hold it for several cycles. And I almost wonder then at that point with all the innovators and then trying to make everything deflationary, if this L1 kind of like Ethereum, well, I can't say that yet, but it's looking like Ethereum is going to escape the third cycle curse, you know, looking like it. I can't say it yet, but if Ethereum does, then I think Pulse Chain is going to become number 2.
Well, I mean, with the ETFs coming out just recently, I highly doubt that people are going to be able to kill Ethereum. And a lot of folks are fading it, man. But yeah, dude, I think you give this enough time, and Pulse Chain is going to prove, in particular Pulse X, that it's more than ultrasound money. Maybe it's like Super Saiyan ultrasound money, something along those lines.
That's true. All right, tell you what, boys, we're coming up. We actually already passed 2 hours, so
yes,
we're going to go ahead and move to our ending segment. I want to toss it over to Pulse Ray Vision. Brother, you have the final word on the topic, and then also, where can the people find you?
Oh, thank you very much. I would look at the look at Ethereum. Ethereum went from less than $1 to almost $4,800 in 2 cycles, right? And granted, it wasn't fighting BNB and Solana and the other copycats like we are. We got a little bit more competition going on. But the truth is, you know, Pulse Chain is the only one people are building real shit on. Meme coins are cool. Meme coins are great, but meme coins have to eat their young. There's no new bros coming into crypto just to bet on dogs with hats. It's the same recycled money going in a fucking circle. Sorry, excuse my language, Whiskey Wednesday. It's just
you could swear.
100% correct though.
I'm happy.
Fucking say it.
I'm happy for everyone who's made money on meme coins because, like you guys said earlier, that money's coming back into Pulse Chain and back into real stuff like 2Fucks and all the other stuff going on in GIF, and so I'm happy for that. So just take what Ethereum did and let's cut it by 10. Like that's still pretty amazing if we can do that in the next 2 cycles. Like just outstanding. That's mind-blowing, life-changing money. So that's awesome. Catch me at Pulse Ray Vision all over the place. AGProject.io is where you guys can join the collective and connect your wallet, throw some money in that wish well. And I stream every day much, much later than Coach X. Like, at the opposite end of the day than Coach X. So we will be doing that. Join us in Telegram, t.me/anti-gravity saga. And I look forward to having you guys on my channel some more because you guys bring the alpha and bring the energy, and you guys are part of what we want to build as our super community. So thank you very much.
Excellent.
Appreciate it, brother.
Glad to hear it. Let's go ahead and throw it on over to Mr. Farmer J. Where can the folks find you and what you got going on in the near future, my friend?
You can find me at the DGen Roundtable chat, memeing it up. And
excellent.
I believe we have book club coming up this Friday.
We do have book club coming up this Friday. We are going to be covering Sci-Vibe Chapter 6, which I believe is Respect. I could be wrong.
Respect. You are correct.
Respect. You guys can catch us over there. Most outstanding. Mr. Zenith, where can the folks find you and what do you got going on in the near future?
Oh, okay. Sure.
I'm going this way. Or this way.
I like it. On the Respect chapter, if you want to join the book club for this week, get started early. Fair warning, if you listen to the audiobook at one-time speed, this is going to be about 5.5 hours. So she thick, so get your jump start. As far as me, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at ZenithDI. And if you want to get some memes or a little bit of edutainment, check out Hexaco Space Force on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. That is the meme page that I run, and pretty much where I do the majority of my shit posting and the funny stuff. So that's all I got. Jay, where can the people find you?
Bro, you know where you could find me, man. You could find me at your local Great Value Walmart. I'm on every single shelf. You can also find me at the DGen Roundtable Telegram chat, where we drop all the alpha early for our members, emergency streams, you name it. As always, thank you everybody, our wonderful panel, our guests, and our chat for joining us. We know that time is your most valuable asset, so we do appreciate that you spend some of that time here with us on the DGen Roundtable. You can find me at _P90Hex or in Instagram at agent_J Schroth. And we had a last minute super chat here from Mr. Fast Abdul himself. That looks like a million dong. It's a lot
That's
of
a
dong.
lot of dong.
Man.
The
Just
boy
do it.
slanging some dong.
And
Mr. Fast
dong.
Yeah, since
Go ahead, Jay.
Since he
The
gave us a
bigger the
super chat,
dong, the better.
let's go ahead and let him pitch 2 fucks and the 2 solid pool that seems to be having 543% APR. That's not too shabby, my friend. That's not too shabby.
Mr. Fast Abdul. Yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you for the intro, boys. So the my story today is that 2 fucks is now live. We've started applying votes to the Fucks Exchange, which is why the 2 solid pool has 543% APR. The 2 solid pool has all the solid index tokens inside it. So it's Axis, Nope, Solid X, and the Fire token as part of the pool, with 2 fucks included with the solid index tokens in the pool, which of course is going to drive up the value of the 2 fucks token and increase APRs for everybody staking on the 2 fucks front end for the Fucks Exchange, because that is part of the APR you receive is the 2 fucks tokens. So that 543% is just the start, because that is just on the Fucks Exchange. Tomorrow, you'll be able to move those same LP tokens over to the 2 fucks front end. And on top of the 543%, you will receive additional 2 fucks tokens that, based on the current numbers, the number is going up. I'm not going to speculate on price, is good.
Good man.
So you want more 2 fucks tokens. You want to participate in the 543%. Check out what we have going on right now live. You can enter on the Fucks Exchange in those LP pools, and you'll be able to stake those LP tokens on 2 fucks. So thanks for letting me get the news out, guys. There will be more bribes coming. I want to talk to you, Coach. We could we should get some pools. We should have some bribes involving PTGC. I think that would be a thing. So, and for you, Pulse Ray Vision, I have participated in the Wishing Well, and in the future, I would like to see there be a gauged pool on the Fucks Exchange. That would be a thing that would be of interest to me. Let's chat.
Outstanding.
Unironically, the bribe feature of 2 fucks is the thing that I'm looking forward to the most.
It's the best.
Partly just for the memes.
It captures the imagination. It is the minority of the financial energy that will be dedicated to bribes. The truth is that, probably in the end, this stuff is going to be kind of boring. Like, a lot of the financial energy is going to be pushed to things like stable coins, right? Like those pools with, $50 million of stable coins on the Pulse chain. Well, they're going to have a lot of 2 fucks is going to be a big part of that, which is, great for us and, great for everybody who's participating on the Pulse chain. But bribes are awesome, and they're kind of seedy, but they're totally legit in this case. They're governed by a on-chain contract. So yeah, I will be happy to bring you bribes in about a month's time, sir.
That is sweet.
I mean, the dirty little secret is that all financial products were pretty much solved back in the 1300s, but ever since then, we've just been trying to find good ways to do marketing, and I think you actually knocked it out of the park with the marketing on this one. So well done, sir. And thank you for your presence and your dong.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Fast Abdul. Mr. Paul Sachs, you're up next, my friend. Where can the folks find you, and what have you got going on in the near future?
You can find me at Twitter at PaulSachs_win. Hey, Fast, I will connect you real quick with Coach.
You can do.
Oh, I was gonna say you can.
Sorry, my bad.
Give me your hand. Give me your hand right here. Give me your hand.
Ooh.
Coach,
other way.
Coach. We'll connect us all. Just like come on, just like the Brady Bunch here. Just like the Brady Bunch.
I think Fast is here on his screen.
Hey, we are looking for more liquidity pools. We got some. The OA's been at least one OA's been buying. Just kidding. The OA's been buying PTGC, and I don't know. Maybe the rest of the week they might be buying, and then looking for more liquidity pools to attach with.
Well, excellent, Coach. While you're on the subject, where can the folks find you, and what have you got going on in the near future, my friend?
Coach on Twitter, you can Coach X, and then on YouTube as well as Coach X, no really underscore. In the near future, I'm going to be coming out with kind of like what Access is doing and got going on with a membership, and I do I do coaching. That's my name. So coaching calls and stuff like that. So the website's going to be coming out here shortly in the next couple months. More looking for the newbies, trying to educate them, but it's going to be a fun time. And thanks for having me.
Coach, not to interrupt you too much, but for the folks at home, if you do a quick search on Twitter for Coach X, you're going to find a girl named Amana Walker, or the top result is Pleasure Coach X.
Pleasure Coach X.
Do you know the exact at?
Yeah. Let me get the exact. It's Coach _ X4.
Coach _ X4.
Yes. I'll put it.
Beautiful. All right, we got it. We will put it in the chat. We will blast that out there so no one else ends up at the Pleasure Coach. That is a private chat. Oh my gosh. All right, there we go.
Right now, I'm heading there.
And then while that's going on, Mr. Nate McGettit, where can the folks find you, and what have you got going on in the near future, my friend?
Yes. I am the Ascending Man, Nate McGettit from the DGen Roundtable. You can always catch me in the chat. You can catch me on the streams, of course. Coach, I know you and we got to get together and we got to have some sort of stream or something going on, because what you guys are doing over there along with Access and all that, I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of fun, interesting things that I'm very interested in. However, before we do that, though, I do have, and I'm going to announce this here, I do have a project that's coming out, not coin project, but it's a little video project, right? And it's for deep learning in certain fields and certain things. It is only for our Telegram members, so you might want to be joining our Telegram. And we might post it to our YouTube later, but you're gonna be so far behind at that point. You're just not gonna be making money. So yeah, go ahead, look forward to that. After I finish with that, because I'm at it's a presentation. I'm at 14 going, and it's gonna be 25 slides or something. After I finish with that, I want to get in touch with you, Coach, and then we'll have a whole thing together here.
100%. Yeah, just let me know.
Nate, for the folks at home that are too lazy to actually go find the URL, which is what is it? bit.ly/degenerate_roundtable. Can you give us
typing it right now.
A point to the floor to show them that QR code? If you scan that QR code, that will direct you to our Telegram chat. We are very excited to have everybody in there to contribute, hang out, share their thoughts, maybe some spicy memes as well. I hear there's an entire channel for it. And I'm just going to throw it out there. At some point, we will be hosting a meme review from our own community on stream at some point. So stand by for that one. But yeah, get in there while you can. It will not be free forever, and we appreciate everybody in there for now. Like the man Crypto Chronic, who is chatting right now. Love you, bro.
Check out the alien guys. But he's here. They're among us.
Hell yeah.
They are among us.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crypto degenerates, ducks and squirrels, I would like to round this fantastic Whiskey Wednesday episode off with a make sure that you guys all join our Telegram. I've posted the link in the chat below. Again, like Zenith has said, it is bit.ly/degenerate_roundtable. We want to thank you all, as Jay had said, for spending your time with us. We know that time is your most valuable asset, and we super duper appreciate it. Whether you're catching us live or you're on the replay, you guys are the best. Give yourselves a pat on the back, and we will see you all in the future. And with that, Mrs. Producer, go ahead and get that trigger figure ready, because we're about to end this stream. And I want to remind you all to remember to degen responsibly.